I discovered I have a secret kid and my wife left me.
Oh, the worst combo imaginable.
My wife, Amy, 35 female, left me, 36 male, after I was contacted by an ex and discovered I had a son. He was born 3 years before I married my wife, and there was absolutely no overlap or cheating in my wife and I's relationship. This happened a month ago, and I requested a paternity test. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Family Left. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Amy didn't say much while we waited for results, but agreed that if I was the father, I needed to be in my son's life in every way possible. 2 weeks ago, the results came back that I am the father, and immediately Amy said she wanted a divorce and began packing her and our child's belongings.
Wait, y'all
You
have
a
children?
child? That's
Nah,
crazy. 'Cause
this
I
is
was-
insane.
I was thinking maybe she's like, I never wanted kids,
Yeah.
child-free life. They already have a kid,
Yeah,
and she's not even taking into account that.
I'm immediately so suspicious.
I don't.
What
like
was she
this.
up to where she's like, finally, a perfect way for me to get out of here without being the bad guy?
That's what it feels like. Because she already has a kid. He didn't cheat. He hasn't said, I expect you to be involved in this kid's life.
This is so weird.
I was confused and asked her why, but she cried and said she loved me. Amy and I have been married for 10 years. 10 years? And
Yeah.
she just divorced you immediately
Nah.
after finding out you had another kid?
What did she do?
Our marriage had been pretty damn close to perfect. No serious arguments, same goals. We've traveled the world together. We have a beautiful home, rewarding careers, and fantastic children together. You have multiple kids.
Something is afoot.
I am so heartbroken that she's thrown everything away. I feel like my life has been destroyed. I have no clue what to do. I have begged and pleaded for therapy, and my wife refuses. She has started the divorce process. The next issue is custody of our children and terms of our divorce. All 4 of our children are young, not even in school yet. You have 4
Dude.
children. What's one more?
What did she do? What did she do? She cheat on you with like your dad or something? Like she had to have gone so nuts.
That was like, snap. All 4 of our children are young, not even in school yet. She says if I agree to give her primary custody, she will let me have the house and will not want child support, and will give me all of our savings so I can raise my son as his mother is struggling. I'm sorry. She wants you to not even be in your kid's life?
Yeah, so
Who is this woman?
her logic immediately doesn't make any sense because she's like, you need to be in your new son's life.
but not any of your other kids' lives?
Your other 4 children don't need you anymore.
I would say, no. No, I'm not giving you primary custody. These are our kids. Just because I have 1 extra kid doesn't mean
Do you smell that? It's
I
fishy.
smell fish.
this woman is.
I would, so this is a
Something's
situation where I would pull the, like, if I'm OP, I would go to my wife and be like, I already know, so you might as well tell me. And just hope that she breaks and it admits to whatever it is. I already know, you might as well just tell me.
I already know. She also agreed to pay for some home help for me. I am disabled and need help occasionally during flare-ups, which she usually provides. I told her I could afford it on my own, but she insists as she says she wants to help out since she won't be there. She will move across the country with our children,
Nah.
but said she will bring them for at least 2 weeks every 2 months. That you can't do
Nah.
that. You can't do that with.
She's acting
With
like you
young
cheated
kids.
on her and this is an affair baby.
This is crazy. I'm sorry. She wants to uproot her
Yeah.
kids every 2 months for 2 weeks.
That makes no
How-
sense.
that doesn't even work with school. They're young, but they can't be that young because they have 4 of them.
She's telling him that he needs to worry about his kid, and she's literally disregarding the well-being of their 4 children. This is nuts.
Crazy.
Nuts. This is nuts.
And will pay for me to fly out to see them whenever I want. No. I don't know what to do. I have no family to discuss this with because 2 of mine and Amy's children are adopted. And my parents and extended family think my biological son is more important than them, which is obviously untrue. It makes me feel horrible, but I don't even know my son. It feels like I'm losing everything for a person I don't know. And I know he's a child and I shouldn't feel that way, but all I ever wanted was my wife and kids. And while I love my son and take care of him, I don't feel like he's my kid yet, just because I haven't really had time to get to know him. A month ago, I wouldn't have recognized him if I saw him on the street. I feel so much guilt for feeling this way. Amy and I are both fairly well off, but she is more so than me. She offered to hire me a lawyer of my choosing if I don't agree with her terms. Don't agree with them.
Yeah, don't agree, and also don't take her lawyer.
Yeah, no.
What?
I told her again I could afford it, but she says she just wants to make sure I get a fair deal. This isn't a fair deal. She wants to steal your kids and move across the country.
Yeah, this is like
What the heck?
way too extreme.
This is so extreme for no cheating. No cheating. But I just can't. I don't want a divorce or to lose my children. I love my wife and children more than anything, and I just don't understand her motives or why she's doing this. It feels like I have to pick my son or my wife and our shared kids. I keep trying to make sense of it in my mind. She will not tell me any reason for wanting to get divorced. She is even being incredibly nice to my son. His birthday had recently passed, and she got him a new game system. They haven't met, said it was for myself and his siblings. She even told me what her nephew, same age as my son, is into so that I can get things my son might like. I don't even know what advice I'm looking for. It feels like my life has been completely ruined. I'm in therapy, but it doesn't seem to help. A month ago, my wife and I were planning on trying for another baby and picking our next vacation spot. And now I'm going to be divorced. How do I move on? How do I not unfairly resent my son when I know it's not his fault? I keep hoping there's a way to convince her to stay, but I don't even know what the problem really is. I'm hoping someone else has been through learning they have a child after 10 plus years and knows where to start, or what I can do to either move on or convince my wife that this doesn't have to happen. Any advice at all is appreciated, though. And there is an update. What do you think?
Well, you've got a very simple problem, and it can be easily addressed. And that's all I have to say about that, because I have no idea how to fix this. This is insane.
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, I think your wife has done something that she is now acting on out of guilt. That's the only thing that makes sense to me.
But also, regardless of what she's done, I think right now, she's not willing to listen to you about, like, trying to fix this or anything. So I think it's like, lawyer up. Don't let her take your kids across the country. I'm pretty sure she can't do that.
No.
If you have, if she gets primary custody, she'd be able to. But if you have custody, she would not be able to take your kids halfway across the country.
Why is she moving halfway across the country? Is it her family is there?
It doesn't make any sense. So I think say no, get your own lawyer. Don't let her buy a lawyer for you. And be there for all of your kids. Your wife something's going on with her.
It's just, it doesn't make any sense to be like, oh, well, first of all, she waited for the paternity test.
Yeah.
So, like, it wasn't like as soon as she found out, she's like, well, I'm out of here. I can't believe this. It was like, she waited for the confirmation, and then she's like, all right, that's now your child. Bye. I'm taking our 4 children.
Yeah, you got one for the price of 4.
Nonsense.
It doesn't make any sense. There is an update, though. It has been over a year since my original post. Since then, my life has completely changed. Some days it is very hard, but all things considered, I am doing well.
Wait, how long has it been?
A year.
A year?
The biggest change is that my wife and I are divorced. She moved with our shared children to the opposite coast to be near her family. Why did you say yes to that?
So I did see a comment from Slithy Tobes in the chat that full custody, based on how OP described their family, thinking about their adopted children as being like less than.
Yeah.
It does kind of make sense that they would want full custody for, but we don't know how the now ex-wife's family views the children. We just know that OP's family kind of were like, othering them. So, okay. But also,
it seems like OP didn't
a
really have a
whole
relationship with
country.
them.
You moved to the other coast?
Yeah.
What?
I just don't understand, because OP's like, yeah, it happened. It just did you give her primary custody of your kids? What?
Ew.
We had an easy split as we both agreed it was best for our family. How is this best for your family?
Yeah, how is this?
In what way is this? I would be devastated. As a child.
Do all the kids hate you?
Yeah.
Like, is that why?
As a child, if my parents just decided that they were getting divorced and moving me halfway across the country away from my father, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
What?
But they're so young. I don't think they.
But I can't imagine
They're not even
that
in school.
young. But they're you know like they're probably
They're like
unless they had them
4
each a year. There's 4
No,
of them.
I mean still there's like there's you know well 2 are adopted. So, but then the other 2 not adopted. But like
but
regardless, it's like they're also at that age where it's like once you move them at that age, now it's like that's where they're not moving back.
Exactly, but I'm still saying like even if they were 4, yeah, maybe they'll get over it like a little bit sooner, but they'd still be like, where's daddy?
Yeah.
Why isn't daddy here with us? What? Because it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
Literally within a month they were like planning to get divorced. You know? Like not that they probably took longer, but she found out a month ago. Said once she found out, she was like, we're divorcing, and then within a month they were like, yeah, we're doing this. So the kids are probably like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like kids, you know, even if they're 4 years old, they're 4-year-olds, 4 and 5-year-olds are like, they can talk. They can do all this stuff. They know what's going on. I am very thankful for that. However, it is difficult not to see all of my kids.
Yeah, now that's making me think that there's something else.
Yeah, I'm like,
what?
Like, why would you say yes to that?
What's not being
Why would you
said?
say yes to that? The first month was the hardest, especially as we did not want to divorce and we had a hard time not treating each other like spouses. Then why did you? Which delayed us healing.
I'm theorizing maybe they're going from one state to another where it's like the difference in like the level of tolerance or acceptance towards the kids is going to be like way higher or something. Because like, I don't know if, who knows? We don't know anything about the kids.
They didn't say anything about it.
But like, if they both agreed that it's better for their family, there's got to be something there that we're not hearing, probably in the interests of anonymity and stuff. But
don't know. My son is doing much better now that it's just the 2 of us. After our divorce, my son opened up about her in therapy. I now understand much more about his behavior. He is much happier now as an only child as well. He's really thriving with my attention. He is struggling with his mental health, but his care team sees progress, as do I. My other kids have seemingly forgotten my existence, which hurts, but is also better than them being sad about the situation.
What?
What?
How is that better?
Why were they sad? Why?
They're not sad. They've forgotten his existence.
No, but it's like rather than being sad about the situation, it's like what they're going to be sad that they have another sibling?
No, sad that he doesn't live with them.
Yeah, there's a missing piece here.
I don't think that's. Can you pull that? What did that say?
My other kids have seemingly forgotten my existence, which hurts, but it's also better than them being sad about the situation, which is
they don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is like insane. Like they don't remember that he's their dad.
Well, buddy, I got news for you. They're probably gonna end up being sad about that at some point.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Wow, our dad doesn't," because you're gonna presume. Are you not visiting them every 2 months?
What's
Which is, I mean, like even if you're what is this?
Oh, wait. And now there's maybe the Slythy Toves also just commented that the bio son might have behavioral issues. Could that be part of why?
Potentially, but still, I'm like...
The ex-wife said, I'm out of here. You got to take care of this kid, and I'm taking ours.
I just don't understand.
So strange.
I constantly try and call them, but at their age, I get about 5 words in before they lose interest. My ex-wife and in-laws try and get them to stay on the phone and talk to me, but there's only so much connection you can have over the phone with kids their age.
Oh my God, they're iPad kids. They're iPad kids too. That's why they don't remember you. They're fried by like Zaboomafoo and whatever the heck they watch all day. Zaboomafoo would not fry them.
Yeah.
I know.
It's Coco Melon.
I'm just not an
get
iPad
out of
kid, so
there.
I don't know.
Coco Melon.
PBS is a beautiful thing. They seem happy, which is all I can ask for. I'm at peace knowing that both my son and my younger kids have someone that loves them in their lives. I miss my family, but I feel I made the right choice for them and my son. By the way, the right choice for you would be to listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. And there is a little bit left of the story, but it is kind of insane that these kids are going to grow up and they're going to be like, wow, yeah, dad chose his other son.
I mean, yeah, who knows what's being said?
Choose between either of them. I just don't understand why you agreed. Like we're missing information because why would you agree to let your kids move across the country? If your kid was having behavioral issues, then maybe you don't have to like have them all hang out together. I mean, even just like you guys living in a different house away from your wife and kids that was in the same freaking town
I think
rather than moving across countries.
I think OP got shocked. I think OP was just like I think he was just shocked, in shock and awe of just like, okay.
I just really don't understand.
You want a divorce?
It seems like everyone only had one option, and that was it.
Yeah, it wasn't like I'm going to,
But see, okay, this is what's getting me, is there is a line in there where it was like, at the beginning, OP's asking his wife, like, what's going on? Why is this happening? And she just cried and said, I love you? That is the most, like, I cheated on you and can't tell you sentence I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So, like, I really do feel like there's this deep pit of guilt she's trying to run away from. But newsflash, that's going to follow you wherever you go.
Yep. I just don't understand. I don't understand why there wasn't any bartering or like, hey, let's fix these terms.
Well, maybe the secret kid, the bio kid, like maybe has the special needs. The OP said that he's been doing a lot better since it's only been them. So maybe it was
and I'm not discounting
in that interest.
Yeah, I'm not discounting that he probably needs that, like, you know, specific help and needs more of OP's attention. But like to completely abandon your 4 kids, for one child,
you could have just moved like to the next county.
I feel like part of parenting is figuring out how to parent all of the children that you have.
Yeah. You didn't have to take them all the way across the country.
It doesn't make sense. After our divorce, I asked my ex-wife to lay it on the line. Why did she want to leave before even meeting my son? So she didn't even know the son.
What?
So all the things about like, oh, maybe she, you know, was scared about the behavioral issue. She didn't even know the son. She had written me pretty consistent letters from the day we found out until the day we got divorced. She gave them to me once our divorce was finished. I read over them several times. She gave several reasons for wanting a split. She felt she had chosen me to have a family with, and I already had a family. What is she talking about? What is she literally talking about?
This is like...
Are you stupid?
This is the same thing as that story we read yesterday where it was like, my wife is actually 2 years older, but we're in a loving, perfect relationship. Should I be upset about it? It's like, no, dummy. Make it funny. And it's like, this right here is like... Yes, but regardless, it's like this woman is now talking like it's like, oh, well, we had these 4 kids together, but I found out someone had actually had a biological child of yours before this, so all of it has to stop now. It's like, what?
It negates everything that we've accomplished over 10 years of marriage.
No, dummy. Just keep what you've got going right now.
What?
What are you doing?
If she had wanted strangers in her life, she would have married a man with kids the first time. What are you talking about?
This is just also nonsense.
What are you talking about? Like, I'm sorry. Sickness and in health, freaking all of the little marriage vows you took.
Yeah.
Out the window.
This is probably just an easier letter to write than the I cheated on you. Like, a lot I cheated on you. Oh, man.
She specifically chose someone without kids. OP didn't know he had kids.
Yeah, wait, but then you had 4 kids together.
That doesn't even make sense.
So what are you talking about?
And felt she made a mistake as now other people would have some control over our lives and a stranger would be in our home.
Oh.
You're crazy.
Sis, I've got bad news. Have you heard of this thing called the IRS? They've got a lot of control over your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
OP's ex goes, I didn't want... I had this whole dream in my head and I didn't want a stranger to be in our house. So instead, I'm going to kick my husband of 10 years out and separate him from his kids. That's what I was dreaming of.
That's crazy. 10 years, 4 kids. They wanted a 5th kid, by the way. They were like, oh, we were planning to get a 5th kid.
They were planning to have a 5th child anyway.
And she's just like, no. This is a big mistake. That's okay. 10 years out the window, though.
She loved our life, marriage, and knew it was all about to change because of my past decisions. What decisions?
What do you mean you know it's about to change?
Is this a religious thing? Is this...
It's all changing because of you, though, ex-wife.
You know what's even crazier, guys? You know, sometimes we have, like, stories where people are like, oh, that's not my bio kid. They adopted 2 children.
That's the other thing that makes no sense.
They adopted 2 children, so it's not even like she has a problem raising kids that aren't biologically hers. Who is this woman?
Was this written just to break our brains?
Yeah, because she's crazy. She also said she knew that kids coming out of situations like this were likely to have trauma. Oh, and all of your
You
kids,
dumbass. What
all
are you
of your
talking
kids
about?
losing their father aren't gonna have trauma.
You literally just split. There's
broke
nothing.
your own family.
Every
Good job.
sentence that comes up, we're
None
gonna
of
have.
your kids, or now that your kids are children of divorce, no
Ugh.
trauma from that.
This is so dumb.
She underlined many times that while I was a good person, she knew I'd throw our family under the bus to make
What
up
does
for
that
something I had no
mean?
control over.
All this means is she cheated. I'm sorry.
You're gonna throw our children under the bus, so
What does
I
that
did it
mean?
first. I threw them under first, so you couldn't throw them under the bus.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote her to tell her she was right. What? And that I
Okay.
was sorry things turned out how they did. OP is a pushover. Overall, I'm happy. I don't regret my decisions. What are you? Who are these people? My son is thriving with me, and my other kids have a great mother and maternal family. Who are you? I hope my son continues to improve, and I selfishly hope that as time passes and he gets older and more stable, I will be able to reconnect with my wife and be involved with my other kids.
Yeah, that's so selfish of you, you absolute monster. What? Who are these people?
I appreciate everyone who reached out with advice. Did you listen to any of it?
My advice is to go back to the planet you guys came from, because clearly you guys are like from a different galaxy the way you've gone about this.
What?
Like, what are we talking about? Wait. Why are you apologized?
Yeah.
I'd be selfish for wanting a life with my whole family that I love? Okay.
Why are you happy with your life?
Is your wife just the ultimate gaslighter? Like,
Apparently, OP's wife gaslit him so well that he's like, yeah, I don't actually want to have a life with my kids.
straight up.
That's the end of that story, folks.
Jeez Louise.
I really don't understand.
I'm
Also,
saying it.
apparently
She cheated.
Yeah.
She cheated. She
I
did the I just love you. She cheated.
Yeah, don't be surprised when, well, actually, I guess it's been a year and she's not with someone else, so that's crazy.
And maybe he knew she cheated. And that's why he was like,
Oh.
yeah, just do it. Because I don't want to get to the bottom of it. It's like the song by The Weeknd where he's like, I don't want to know. Because it's like,
Yeah.
once you know, it would so thoroughly destroy you that you're like, just let's leave it ambiguous because I can't
tell me.
deal with the emotional damage.
Also, I know that he said that the mother of this kid had, like, she didn't have a job or something, but, like, it
was a
seems like-
little hard for,
yeah,
hard for cash,
but
press
it
for
seems like
cash.
she's, like, totally gone.
What do you mean?
Like, he was like, yeah, now I'm, like, it seemed like he was saying he kind of is fully taking care of his son.
Oh, like he has full custody.
That's what
Oh.
it felt like. It's like, yeah, and I'm doing all this and stuff. And he didn't mention the mother at all, which I'm like,
Yeah.
where did she go?
Well, I guess that, again, just like shows his priorities.
I really don't understand this. But folks, that is the end of that story. And we do have another one.
My wife and I opened our marriage. Now she's jealous.
It never works out.
It's actually not fair to call this a three-way problem. It's an open relationship type of problem. Even though we don't have an open relationship and only dabbled in it somewhat.
I mean, dabbled.
It sounds like you don't even know what to call your problem.
Dabbled. It's not wine tasting.
Yeah. ugh.
It's opening your marriage.
By the way, this comes from a user in a weird pickle, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, I, 40 male, have been with my wife, Kay, 40 female, for 3 years. We both have had prior miserable marriages of 10 plus years with her background, including an extremely possessive husband who didn't let her even talk to other guys. When we met, my wife had gotten a bit of distance from her ex by having flings with a series of guys before she met me. And there's nothing wrong with that as long as a person does his or her best to remain safe. She had a long-term boyfriend who was, as far as I can tell, completely platonic, having only kissed her on the mouth once during their entire relationship,
What?
and never having indicated an interest in spicy sleep.
Okay, maybe he's like ace.
Okay?
Sure.
She did keep in touch with a lot of her past flings, including having some spicy-related activity or leading conversations with some spicy messages. She also almost met up with another guy from across the country after an emotional/cyber spicy affair early on after we were committed.
So you guys have she's already
she
cheated on you?
She
So
cheated
she's
on
already
you.
cheated on you.
Say it with us, folks.
She cheated
Let's get
on
the
you.
wide shot popping. She
She
cheated
cheated
on
on
you.
you.
I chalked that up to fear of commitment and eventually got past it.
What?
I think she's been honest with me since then,
I
and
think?
I trust her.
You sorry. You can't say I trust her and I think she's been honest with me in the same sentence.
I trust her. I mean,
I think she's been honest with me.
I don't think she has any online husbands.
I chalked it up to commitment issues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She didn't
she
want to
cheated
be
on-
committed to me. I got over it, though.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy to call cheating on someone.
Yeah.
It's just commitment issues.
I usually promote, like, you know, the concept of being a kind of unbothered for the most part.
You're too unbothered.
But this is way too unbothered. You got to be a little bothered. After all that, though, she did have some ongoing boundary issues, in my view.
The cheating?
For example, that platonic ex used her to promote his online business by claiming she was essentially an executive of his non-existent organization and posted messages on social media talking about how smexy she was. What?
Huh?
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Huh?
It was a very strange dynamic and made me uncomfortable. The sham business relationship as much as anything else. I eventually told her, and she resisted doing anything for months, but finally did tell him she didn't want to continue being used to promote his business that way. What's the
Sorry,
business?
I'm sorry.
Just a hot girl?
I'm sorry.
Hot girl business.
I'm sorry. You told her that you were uncomfortable and she was like, I don't care for months.
It doesn't even, I know the title of this said it's like we opened the marriage. Doesn't even sound like that's what y'all are doing. It's like you're just like, well, I guess my wife is more interested in others, so maybe I should also be?
My guy, girly.
Let's
What
see
are
what
you
happens.
doing?
So the main reason I mention this is that she's often shown a tendency to have boundary issues with other guys because she is a flirt and likes the attention.
She's the cheater.
I'm okay.
We know you're okay.
She's
with
just a
this.
flirt. I mean, we're dating and she flirts with all these other guys,
And
but
she
that's just how
sometimes
she
cheats
is.
on me.
And I guess because I can only date one person for the whole entirety of my life, that's my position. This is the boat I've found myself in,
Apparently.
especially after her repressed past, as long as she's honest with me. But a key fact is that she's been a bit resistant when I've indicated a lack of comfort, which I've only rarely done. We've been spicily adventurous to some extent, including discussing the idea of a swinging. We didn't, but we went to parties and fooled around with each other, having a shared girlfriend, her idea originally, or even a sister wife, which was her idea originally.
What?
Guys, fellas, ladies, gather around. When we're in a relationship and someone suggests something that's like so wildly out of what we want, it's like so far away from where we're at, you don't have to be like, I mean, okay.
Yeah.
You can be like, that is literally the opposite of what I want.
The thing is, like, y'all aren't dabbling in it. She's in it. She's
Yes.
in it. And you are dabbling in making it official. But
Yeah.
she's been doing it.
You're still conceptualizing it. She's out there executing.
It's like when I was technically a double major but hadn't made it official yet.
And then you decided to
I
get
was
the English
already
major.
a double major. It wasn't on my transcript. She's already doing that. I had to take all the classes. She's taking the classes.
Oxford, Harvard, Cal.
All of them. UCST.
And she got an English major
I think I
at
have a
every
UCLA.
single one of those institutions.
Yeah.
Quadruple English major.
I got double majors at all of them.
Octuple majored.
I don't think I have a UCLA sweater.
We can fix that.
That's the
That
easiest
was
one.
the only one that Sam went to.
That's the easiest one we can
How do I
fix,
not have
Sophia.
that?
Well, we could totally fix that.
I gotta get on this, guys. I need more.
She seemed at times to have a fatouche, but she would shut things down when things got real. Like when we had opportunities to do spicy related stuff, or maybe relationship stuff with at least 5 women over a couple of years.
So is she wanting to like watch? Is that the thing?
I don't know.
No, yeah, that's what it was.
Because I think that's what that term maybe means.
But she'd always back out last minute, which I respected. She remained fascinated by the idea of a multi-woman relationship, however, especially since she has bi tendencies but hasn't fully explored them yet, though she identifies as mostly hetero-romantic. Enter Marlene.
Okay.
Marlene? Dang it, Marlene, I told you to stay home.
So she is ace, or on the ace spectrum. Makes sense for previous relationships.
She's on the A spectrum?
Romantic.
She was someone at work dealing with a breakup with a lot of similar interests, and we became friends with my wife's full knowledge. With my wife's encouragement, we had Marlene over to the house a couple of times, and I eventually broached the subject of dating very vaguely with her. Originally, Marlene indicated that she'd find it too weird, and I didn't bring it up again. But we did spend a lot of time talking and sharing outside of work, and I grew somewhat fond of her. Eventually, she found that she was attracted to me after all. But though my wife eventually had a crush on her as well, Marlene wasn't into my wife, Kay, as Marlene identifies as completely hetero. Eventually, with Kay's full knowledge and blessing, in our house, Marlene and I fooled around. We did the horizontal mambo. We did the taboo tango. We did the oh mama
Llama.
jamba. The oh mama samba. Okay, there we go. Marlene had a problem with Kay being present, so Kay was in a different part of the house, though she could hear us.
She's pressed up against the wall. She's like, you turn it up.
Kay, go to the mall. Go to the mall, buy a knick-knack. What are you doing?
And she goes, okay. Do.
Oh, that's right, because Kay's kind of into that.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's her whole thing. That's her spicy desire. She doesn't want to be a part of it, it seems, but she wants to, like, watch it and hear it.
Okay. Afterward, she described being extremely tooted up. As a second night, Marlene and I fooled around some more, but this time Marlene asked me to ask Kay to exit the room again, and I did. This apparently hurt Kay's feelings, though she didn't tell me until much later, and though she still reported being vicariously tooted up.
Honestly, I feel like you need to get a different partner. Because if this is what your wife wants, and this is kind of the like thing or the rules that you set, and Marlene's not into it, then you can't do something that Marlene doesn't want to do.
Yeah, you've got
but you should be doing something.
incompatibles.
Yeah, you should be doing something that your wife wants to do.
You guys are magnets with the same poles.
Yeah.
It's like they're not clicking together.
Yeah.
You can't make them.
So I feel like you gotta get someone new.
Eventually, with my wife's apparent encouragement, but later reported inner misgivings, I went to Marlene's hotel with her for a couple of nights consecutively, and we hooked up some more. I may well have been dense, but at the time I thought this was giving my wife a vicarious thrill and that she had no problem with it. I even asked her. My wife, even later when she reported having had problems, always told me she assumed we went all the way and had no problems with that. But we didn't, partly because I didn't know the first night if that was on the table or not. Fast forward a couple of months, and Marlene had traveled back home from her business trip, but we stayed in contact outside of work. My wife initially reported some jealousy, but seemed to move past it, and then started encouraging me to see Marlene some more when Marlene returned, as she did soon after. During this time, I spoke often and in depth with my wife about what sort of relationship we were contemplating. She told me she found the idea of even marrying Marlene to be exciting, and wanted to take things as they came.
Girl, Marlene is straight.
Wow.
Marlene is straight.
So this is the I'm thinking, I was thinking this was going to be, OP. We need to learn where our boundaries are. But instead, it's about OP's partner. OP's partner, you're not okay with this.
Not okay with this.
You should express that and be like, let's not. Because clearly this is not actually working for me.
Dude, you know what you want. You want to vicariously be a part of this. You want to watch while they do the horizontal mambo.
You want the chair in the corner. You want it.
You want to be the guy in the chair.
You're Tyler Durden.
You're Ned from Spider-Man.
Because he sat in the Tyler Durden in the movie Fight Club sits in the cuck chair in the hotel.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
He sits in it.
And he's interested in
that's-
Brad Pitt.
I feel like Tyler Durden would be into that. Regardless. We're not here to talk about Fight Club.
I just watched it.
That's the first rule.
I haven't finished it yet.
Dang
though.
it.
Hopefully that didn't happen in the last hour because I haven't seen that part yet. Anyway.
Marlene returned, and we had an idyllic weekend. All three of us, culminating in two little, two ménage à trois. After this is where things fell apart. My wife began acting very conflicted, and eventually, on the last night Marlene was with us, we wound up doing nothing after initially planning to, and my wife was completely broken down. For many weeks following, I had a terrible time at home. Kay was cold, angry, yelled very often, swore at me and/or called me names, and demanded full access to my email and phone, which I gave her to help her feel more secure. I'd already told Marlene that we couldn't be together, but I think Kay didn't trust me not to cheat, and or she thought Marlene was trying to steal me away. Things were stiff between Marlene, who developed some feelings for me, and I for her.
Oh my God.
So working could get tense, but she was classy and respectful, and I did my best to be the same way, with no off-color remarks or anything. I knew she was having a lot of trouble processing things, basically having the emotional rug yanked out from under her by my wife, but I resisted urges to console her.
What
I think you
the
and your
heck?
wife... No, you don't get to do that, OP.
Don't be
You
like,
and your
"Oh,
wife...
my wife, it's all my wife's fault." Dude,
This was a team effort.
dude, you knew what your wife wanted. And
Yeah.
then you stopped doing what your wife wanted. And then she said, yeah, I guess it's fine. And then was like, I don't know if I'm into this. And then clearly showed discomfort with what was going on. And you did it anyway.
Literally probably
you guys
the same...
are bad at relationships.
the same energy as like when you're like, babe, can I go hang out with the boys tonight? I know we had that like dinner date planned, but I want to go hang out with the boys. And then she's like,
I guess. Do what
I
you want.
mean, you can do whatever you want.
Yes.
And then you're like, but you told me I could. Like, what?
To be clear, they've both done this, you know? Like, she did this
Yeah.
from the start of like hanging out with all these guys and flirting, and OP being like, I guess I'm okay with it. And then her doing it anyway. And then he did it back to her. So it's like, you guys don't know how to talk to each other. Like, express your emotions.
Yeah,
Tell each other that you're not okay with it.
only that.
She immediately says, everyone sucks here. Yes.
Eventually, I was laid off from that job, and Marlene gave me a very helpful professional recommendation. I decided I didn't want to lose touch with her out of thankfulness, but also just because I felt bad for her and wanted to know her, even if just effectively as pen pals.
I'm sure.
So I did. Keeping my wife in the loop. My wife wasn't thrilled, but went along with it
What
for
are
a while.
you talking about? Your wife was not happy with it. And you're like, well, I'm doing it anyway. Why are you guys even married?
You've lost the plot
Lost it.
of like what y'all's little fatouche was. You're now pen paling your third. That's not how that works. If it's gonna work right. I've let my wife read the emails since then, but they've provoked constant conflict. There's nothing spicy or romantic about them, but my wife constantly finds fault with word choices of mine and has accused me of wanting to be with Marlene instead of her, and has also accused Marlene of wanting to steal me away. Though she lives in a different state and neither can move, reads extremely tenuous meanings into words and phrases in attempts to make particular communications seem to be invitations for romance, blah, 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 blah. Kay has even threatened to break up with me if I didn't stop emailing Marlene, though Kay eventually took that back and removed her demand that I not have any contact with Marlene going forward.
What?
But you can have all the contact in the world with us moving forward if you go to Spotify or iHeartRadio or Apple Podcasts and listen to the full episodes with stories just like this one. All you have to do is search the name of our show, OK Storytime, and you've got over 2,500 episodes to just nibble on. Just so good and tasty.
Your wife said, I'm going to break up with you if you keep talking to Marlene. Not a great, never good to have an ultimatum. And you went, well, she took it back. What?
This is just full blown, like, you've gone all the way down the rabbit hole.
Like imagine this is what, Dakota, you're, I'm super upset at you because you have, I don't know, you keep walking around in the house with your shoes
with my
on.
smooth hair.
What?
With my
Yeah,
totally
you
smooth
got muddy
hair.
shoes on.
My hair's
And
so smooth.
I say, Dakota, if you walk around this house with your muddy shoes on, I'm gonna kick you out of this house and you're never coming back. And then next day I'm like, Dakota, like, whatever. Do whatever you want. Hopefully you're like, well, I'm not gonna wear my muddy shoes around the house.
Nah, I'd be like, sick. She gave me the
He said,
okay.
do whatever I want. That means it's fun, right?
What is tone? What is subtext?
Yeah, I don't understand subtext
I don't know.
because I can't read.
What is a vibe? I'm not even sure. All I know is what is literally spoken to me. I am Mr. Literal.
Yep.
This has been pretty disruptive on my life with Kay. Recently, for example, we didn't have spicy sleep for well over a month. I feel unwanted sometimes. Well, imagine how she feels.
Imagine how tired she feels.
But again, that's not even.
Also,
It's both of your fault.
I feel like you guys are maybe like spicily incompatible. Because it seems like she either has it seems like little desire for spicy sleep, given, how she has defined herself. And OP seems to have a lot higher spicy sleep desire. So, I don't know if you guys are fully compatible.
Yeah.
Especially just in how you are communicating it.
I hate it when she says mean things and all that. Still, part of me feels like it's not fair anymore that she insists I cut off all contact with Marlene. I don't want to lose her, partly because I do view her as a friend. I know that to a certain degree, fairness doesn't matter in these determinations, rather how one feels. Still, is there any decent way to get across to Kay that I am trustworthy, but also that I don't feel like it's fair to be forced to be mean to Marlene? No one's telling you to be mean to Marlene. I swear I've been completely honorable in my dealings with Marlene since the week where we had the threesomes, and I'm not angling for a romantic relationship. I just email her every couple days and enjoy the friendly communications. Plus, feel better about not just cutting her off like she's a toy. Am I in the wrong?
Yes.
I am intentionally posting here instead of in our polyamory or non-monogamy, or I want non-biased points of view on what a ballpark of reasonableness looks like given the situation. I know my wife isn't in the wrong for feeling jealous. I want to know if I'm being unreasonable by wanting now, after all of the on again, off again, on again, off again, to just be Marlene's friend. Yes!
Yes.
That's unreasonable.
Unreasonable. If you want a relationship with your wife, you can't be Marlene's friend.
Like having that... okay.
Once you've developed feelings for the person that you were supposed to just be having like little spicy time with, probably not best to continue the relationship with her.
Yeah.
If you're trying to continue the relationship with your wife.
Very different if this is just like a coworker and you're friends with them and they were never brought into the fold, so to speak. Like,
yeah.
Then
and Wrestling Mama says wife was
different.
wrong. Yeah. Wife was wrong on making her boundaries clear. We know the wife was wrong. We know she cheated.
Yeah, they were both wrong.
They were both wrong. OP is the one asking us the questions. So I'm going to direct them at OP.
Yeah.
Yep, figure it out, dude. Because otherwise you got a divorce because this is not working the way that it's going.
It's time to walk away.
Yeah,
it's
for
time.
real.
I don't think you guys are compatible partners.
Yeah.
And I think it'll probably inevitably just end with someone cheating on someone.
Yup.
But that is the end of that story. We have another one coming right up. My wife secretly teamed up with my coworker to spy on me at work.
That's odd.
Me, 31 male, and my wife, 30 female, have been married for 5 years, together for 8. My wife has been jealous of a coworker at my job for some time now. Her name is Heather, and she's in her early 20s, and tall and pretty.
Okay.
Just observations, as I have a pair of eyes.
You can't do that. I don't get why people put themselves in a hole.
Babe, why are you so jealous of the tall, pretty girl at work?
Yeah.
She's so tall and pretty.
Oh, did I mention she's young too?
By the way, this comes from user World's Gone Mad. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Riley.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give you good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so if you'd do something else, let us know in the comments, as OP says. Heather is nice, but I don't go out of my way to talk to her. We worked together on a project about 8 months ago, which is when this seems to have started. Heather, 3 other coworkers, and I were assigned to this project, and for a good month, we spent much time together at work. My wife saw her one day when we were all coming out, and she was picking me up to go to dinner at my parents'. She immediately asked who she was and if she worked at my job. I told her she was new and was put on our project. For the entire duration of the project, my wife was in a bad mood almost every day and would take every opportunity to tear Heather down, saying she was lanky or her nose was crooked or whatever.
Dude, people have said that about me.
She is insecure about her height because she's 5'4" and not a 6-foot-tall glamazon. I love my wife's height and her petite figure and tell her this every day. She is extremely gorgeous and turns heads whenever we walk downtown. But once she saw Heather was tall and not ugly, she was convinced I thought she was hot. I kept telling her she was just a colleague and that I had no interest in her. Regardless, she would greet her coldly or not at all if she saw my colleagues. You've been with her for 8 years at this point. That's a little too long for this kind of behavior to be happening.
I'm getting the ick.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't break up with her over this, clearly.
No, I would.
But, like, it's definitely like babe, I've been with you for 8 years. Like, okay, so everyone looks at her when we walk down the street. Our home and jobs are located downtown, so we usually walk to meet up with each other after work. My wife would start dressing up a lot more than usual when she'd come meet me and make a big show of jumping on me and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
She works at a very nice bakery and usually brings leftovers from work for us or people at my job. She always gave things out to everyone except Heather. Eventually, Heather picked up on the hostility and approached me to ask why my wife was acting that way. I simply told her I didn't know, maybe because she didn't know her as long as the other colleagues. She was distant. She seemed to accept that, but would no longer leave at the same time as everyone else and would either go early or hang back. Brian, another coworker, approached me on Friday and asked to talk to me privately. He told me he'd been at lunch with Kate, the coworker in question, and she had gone to pay for the food. She left her phone on the table, it lit up with a text, and he saw it was from Valerie, my wife's name. The text basically said, "Did you see him talking to her today? What did he say? Then, do you think Heather is going to stay at that job long?" When Kate came back to the table, he asked her if that was Valerie, as in my wife. She got a deer-in-the-headlights look and said, "Oh, yeah, we text sometimes. We're friends." He said he thought it was weird because she put her phone in her purse without even checking the messages he had asked about and wanted to go. I went home and snooped on my wife's phone. I know it was wrong, but I had a feeling that if I asked her, she would deny it or become defensive and not show me the phone. There were weeks' worth of texts that basically were little reports on what went on at work. If Heather talked to me, what we talked about, did she hug me goodbye, did she touch me at all, did I laugh at her jokes, did the guys think she was hot, did I join in with them, did I look like I was flirting?
Oh. That is terrifying. No. What?
We've been together for 8 years.
Yeah.
If you don't trust him, leave.
Yeah, for real. Don't pull this crap.
So lame. Kate was also apparently talking up Valerie at work to Heather. She made sure to mention often that we were married and how great Valerie was and how long we had been together. A lot of things started coming together then. Heather was much more distant lately. She seemed hesitant to say bye at the end of the day. We used to talk casually, like everyone else at work, but now she would just say hi and bye mostly. I've been sitting on this information all weekend. Today at work, I could hardly look at Heather for shame of it, and I couldn't look at Kate for my disgust. I haven't been able to approach my wife about this because I just don't know how or what to say. I feel frustrated and very much weirded out. I feel gross too, like I've had my every move watched without knowing it, and as if just talking to a coworker is doing something wrong. I haven't talked to anyone else about this, not even Brian, who first mentioned it. I don't know what to do from here. I don't even know what this means for our relationship. It feels like something big has changed because I haven't been able to look at her the same way, and all my interactions with her since Friday have been kind of forced and faked. I need to talk to her and figure out what to do. Any advice would be appreciated. I feel very lost right now, and we have some comments. Me personally, I think my technique would be like, you just gotta sort of, not aggressively, but you have to blitz her. You have to you have to be like, hey, we need to talk.
Oh, okay.
You know, and then be like, so I know that you and Kate have been texting, and it's I know, and it's okay, but we need to talk about what this means for us, because if you're really this worried about me working with some other girl that I have no interest in, and she is just an objectively attractive person, and you're spying on me now, that makes me feel weird about us. Like, why don't you trust me? Like, what is it about her or me that's got you this way? Just flat out.
I'd start with that. Then I'd piggyback onto, why do you not trust me?
Yeah.
What's up with that?
You're a towel. 26326 says, has your wife been irrationally jealous before? Did something happen in your relationship to make her lose all trust for you? I guess those things don't really matter. You guys need couples counseling regardless. But I'm curious as to where this behavior is coming from. I'm sorry this is making work so uncomfortable for you, and especially for Heather, who never asked for any of this. Please talk to your wife so you can save your job, marriage, and all the unfortunate bystanders who are now involved. OP says, yes, she has. My wife is very insecure about her looks, and I find it very sad. I'm not saying this because I'm her husband, but she is very beautiful. Long dark hair, light brown eyes, perfect face. She really does get a lot of looks and double takes. But she experienced a lot of bullying as a kid. She had bushy brows growing up and was the only Italian girl in her middle school. She grew up thinking she was ugly for not being taller, blonde-haired, and blue-eyed. She thinks that that's secretly what I want, I guess, although I've never said anything to indicate that.
Tell her you want spaghetti. Tell her you want pizza.
But we do have an update, I know that.
Yikes. What worries me about this guy is how he described the Heather. Also, when you post the first one, kind of like, throwing it out there, getting some advice. The second update is usually when people like sit with all the comments and really think about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's either, I'm calling this, it's either going to go one of two ways. One, he accepts where he went wrong and he gets roasted and he's like, I'm going to change this better person. Or two, he's going to be so defensive, kind of double down in the way that he's been acting. It's just going to make more resentment for their marriage. Everyone in the story needs to change, except for Heather.
I don't think there's anything wrong with just saying a person is objectively pretty. You just said that she's tall and pretty.
Dude, if you say that on a subreddit, though, you're basically like shooting yourself in the foot. So that's the first comment that everyone's going to be saying. That's the first thing he's going to address in this next upcoming update.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's see. I took the general advice and confronted Valerie and used therapy as a non-negotiable term. So Tuesday when I posted, I saw Kate at work and bluntly said, you don't need to report on me today or any day after this. I'll be talking to my wife after I'm done today. She got this blank look on her face and said she didn't know what I meant, but I noticed her hanging around significantly less than usual after that. I did my best to focus on my work, but I asked to go home early because it was just impossible with everything looming ahead for me to concentrate. I went home and texted my wife I was home early and needed to talk to her when she was done with work, so to please come home right away. I got a bunch of what's going on and what's wrong texts, but I just kept telling her I'd talk to her at home. She got home and I got into it right away. I told her I knew about the text with Kate, about the spying, and the intimidation of Heather. She was mad at first and kept adamantly saying she did nothing wrong and that if I had nothing to hide, why did it matter? I told her to please not play me for a fool and outlined all of the things her behavior meant, like lack of trust and sheer vindictiveness. I brought up the consequences like my damaged trust and the drama in the workplace. I also brought up how my job could be at risk because of this. She made a point to say they couldn't fire me without also removing Heather, as she'd say she was being inappropriate towards a married man in the workplace, and Kate would back her up. What?
Dude.
What?
What is
that's
happening?
a good. Like you're like that's a good thing.
That is crazy.
Like you're like, well, at least you'd both be fired because she was doing wrong by marriage. She was just existing. So, OP continues. That brought us to a heated argument, and it ended with her crying and me yelling. She started asking, who the F is Heather to you that you gave so much of a crap anyway?
No.
It's not about Heather. It's literally not about Heather. It's about us. Heather, it could be anyone. Heather is not important. It could be Bruce.
Honestly.
It could be anyone. So that derailed into this whole thing about me caring too much about someone I claimed meant nothing to me. I don't want to get into too much detail because this would be extremely long, but the conversation was a good 5 to 6 hours long. It ended with her agreeing to go to couples therapy and individual therapy if the couples therapist so deemed it. She apologized to me a lot and admitted she had been acting out of jealousy and anger towards Heather. She asked if I wanted her to apologize to Heather in person, but I said no. I didn't want to be there to be more. I did not want there to be more drama. I watched as she texted Kate and told her to stop and that she was sorry for dragging her into this. She gave me the password to her phone for transparency, but I told her it was pointless, as if she really wanted to continue, she could just delete the text before I saw them or change the name or whatever. I told her I expected her to keep her word to stop, because if I got any indication that this was still going on after our talk, I would separate from her and file for divorce.
Whoa.
I just feel like this is a much I feel like this is a workable problem
Yes.
because there's nothing going on.
Yes.
Yesterday morning, things still seemed tense. Go figure. But it was to be expected. She still kissed me before going to work, and we had a normal text conversation on our commute. I got to work, and Kate apologized to me. I accepted it, but told her our work relationship from here on out is forever changed, and there's no going back from it. I told her that beyond work conversation, we have nothing else to talk about. She accepted it and went on to start the day. Lunch rolls in. I asked Brian if he'd let me buy him lunch and thank him for telling me. We went to have lunch, and he asked me if I've heard that Heather put in her request for a transfer.
Good.
Apparently, on Tuesday when I left early, Heather asked why I wasn't at my desk because she had brought over the week's project booklet and had seen me there earlier. Kate, of all people, told her I had gone home to deal with personal issues. When Heather asked if everything was all right, Kate told her that she hoped so because I don't want to see someone come between Valerie and OP's marriage. There must have been a bit more to the exchange because Heather went all the way up to our boss's boss and asked for a transfer to a different department.
Good.
Good for you, Heather.
Yeah. That
I would do that too.
she probably felt a lot of little bits and pieces here, and she's like, I cannot deal with this day to day.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm done with this. This is so
Yeah.
stupid. She's like trying to come between Valerie and OP's marriage. It's like, all right, I know what that meant. These buffoons are trying to make me out to be a homewrecker. I don't want to work with them.
Yeah,
Move
dude.
me.
And they're probably lame. She probably doesn't even like where she's at right now.
And by the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this one. Just go to your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is, search OK Storytime. And you can listen to a big old buttload of stories. And there's a little bit left. Let's finish it off. I feel extremely embarrassed because without a doubt, I feel like that guy now in the office. I know Brian isn't a gossip, but of course people will ask why Heather transferred. And without a doubt, it will eventually get out. People who used to talk to me casually probably will stop. The women of the office will feel as if they need to keep their distance, and I feel so ashamed that I can't even approach Heather to apologize for the stress this must have caused her. I doubt she would even want to see my face at this point. So yes, wife has agreed to counseling, both couples and individual, apologized to me, all those things. But the damage is now done, and I feel like complete crap about work now. I guess I shouldn't have been so naive to think that just fixing this with my wife would make everything else go away.
Can you mend this in the workspace?
I don't know. I think you would have to be a exceptionally chiller. You'd have to be a chiller.
How do you even start the apology process? Or not apology, but hey, the XYZ happened.
Yeah, guys, I know there's been some weird stuff going on in the office, all right? But I'm still OP. I'm still me.
Yeah.
Just let's continue business as usual, all right?
Maybe a round of beers.
But it's like you can't control how everyone else is going to treat you, really, because it's just its own thing now.
Can you come back from this in the work area?
I mean, I think you can, but it's probably not.
Not
It's probably not
immediate.
going to go back to normal after you went in and told Kate, like, by the way, you can stop spying on me.
Yeah.
I feel like,
You shouldn't
yeah,
have done that.
I don't know. It's just going to, if anything, I feel like you could have played this differently and it probably would have been Kate who was weird,
Yeah.
but instead it's you now because you've got the wife who will get people fired.
I did not let my friend and her husband live with us. She got mad. She doesn't even go here. My husband, male 36, and I, female 33, just recently moved a few states over from where we were living. My husband got an amazing job offer and had to move in 2 weeks. We put our home in our previous state up for sale, and we moved and stayed in an apartment until our home sold. By the way, this comes from Glittering Bit 79.4, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. As it turns out, the apartment was a complete dump, but we made it work until we bought our home. We went through a lot. The apartment had a mold problem, so our health was terrible. I was on contract with my previous work from my previous state and looking for a job locally, but it seemed like I couldn't get bites on anything. Finally, I landed an amazing job and our home finally sold, so we purchased a home here in our current state. It's a dream living here. It's a wonderful area, great community, cost of living is so much better, so we're thriving in a lot of different ways. My husband and I are at the point where we are ready to start having a family, but I do have some health concerns that cause some problems with that, so we're both going through that together as a couple. Fast forward, our friends, female 39 and her husband, male 45, have been in the loop about everything and have been wanting to move over here. They say for a while, but I think it's only because they heard that we're thriving and they want a part of it. Anywho, they mentioned that they wanted to move here, and my husband said that they could live with us temporarily until they bought a home without really talking to me first about it. I confronted him about this and he recognized that he messed up and apologized. He did this because his friend has got him a lot of different jobs, so he feels like he's in a position now to help, and I think that he did that without asking me because he felt like it was the right thing to do. I went ahead and went along with it because I am best friends with the wife and my husband is best friends with the husband, and generally we've gotten along really well with them, so we thought, okay, maybe this won't be a problem. Well, they came to visit us last month. They stayed with us for a few days while they were looking at homes in the area. This whole situation just went down so weirdly and made me realize that I am just not on board with this. So they're kind of struggling for money a little bit, so we didn't want to go out every night while they were here. So I suggested let's make dinner at home one night. Well, when we were doing that, my friend started to correct me and the way that I was cutting apples. She literally stopped what she was doing to correct the way that I was doing it. Then she wanted to make fajita seasoning, so I told her I have taco seasoning and it's pretty similar. She mentioned that she has a dairy allergy, so she has to be careful about the pre-packaged products because they have dairy in it. So we checked and it didn't have dairy in it. She proceeds to say, well, I'm still gonna make my own. And then begins to say, well, you don't have all the ingredients, the right ingredients, and I have everything. The only thing that I didn't have was regular paprika instead of smoked paprika, which I think is better anyways.
There's no real difference
Yeah.
there. Like, not like a difference that would actually affect the recipe.
Yeah. But then after it was all cooked, she kept making comments like, well, I hope it tastes good because the ingredients weren't quite right. And that really irritated me. Yeah, that would be
Dude.
very frustrating.
Smoked paprika, come on.
Yeah.
She's like the type of person who would be like, well, I didn't have white pepper, I only had black pepper, so
Yeah.
it's not gonna take.
It's just not going to taste
Excuse
good.
me.
Whatever. It's fine. Everything's fine. Then she starts going through my house and making plans of where her and her husband are going to set up their home office while living with us. And then she said, I'm not sure why you put us in this room because this room is bigger. And
Dude, how are you best friends with her and you didn't notice any of this behavior?
yeah, that's a good point. Maybe it just didn't.
Like, this is the
Hasn't-
first day,
Yeah.
basically, or at least the
Well,
first week that they've been here, and
yeah,
this is how
something
she's
like that.
acting.
And then she talked about basically occupying all of our extra rooms in our house. She really didn't ask me. She just kind of started making plans, which was another red flag for me. Then the following week, we had family over, and surprise, my in-laws are moving here as well. What?
Why?
People need to start paying rent for real.
Yeah, stop moving in.
That's crazy. They had mentioned that they wanted to move near us, but probably at the later end of the year.
Yeah, near, not in.
Yeah, right? But have since changed their mind and they're moving in August. So they will need a place to stay.
Not here.
Yeah, get your
Sorry.
place and stay there. So we let our friends know ASAP that it's not going to work out this year because my in-laws have to stay with us. My friend called me and was very short and snappy at me and said, the only reason why we were wanting to move is because we knew that we had a place with you. It can't work out without that. You knew that. We were just about ready to make decisions on having people install our new floors and fix our yard in this house so we can put it on the market. And I was really shaky and felt so uncomfortable. And I told her, I'm so sorry, but you know we need to make sure that we have space for our family. She was really short and snappy at me and practically hung up on the phone with me, basically shut down. She texted me shortly after and said, I'm sorry, I'm just so emotional right now. And then followed up again saying, again, I'm sorry, I just thought things were all going according to God's plan, but I guess that's not the case. A week later, I took some time to mull things over and I'm trying to be as respectful as I can. I'm going through therapy, so I'm trying to bring up uncomfortable things when they need to be brought up. So I texted her a few days later and told her that we just decided that long-term guests aren't a good fit for us anymore. We're trying to start a family and my husband's family is going to be living with us and they need a place to stay. And I also mentioned that the phone call conversation made me very uncomfortable and hurt and made me feel like she was blaming me for plans not working out. She then said that she would like to call and talk about things because she cares too much about her friendship to let things get this way. I reassured her that we're still best friends, but this is something that we're just gonna have to do. She texted and said that she understood, and then 3 weeks later, she wants to call and talk to me. I said, sure, I'll make time on the weekend. Friday rolls around and I tell my friend, hey, I have an appointment with the vet for my dog. It might take a while, so I want to open up Friday afternoon to talk if you would like. She follows up and says, no, she has plans with her husband. I said, no problem. So Saturday rolls around, take my dog to the vet, text her afterwards and tell her that my dog is doing better and that we were in line to get a pup cup for her at Starbucks. She proceeds to tell me that she took her dog to the vet too, and then she told me that she got her nails done and she really likes the design. Conversation stopped from there. So just avoiding the problem, it seems.
Yeah.
I waited all day for her to call me and she never called me. I looked back at her message and thought maybe I should have been more clear that I was available. So I texted her that evening and said, hey, I think I misunderstood your text. I'm totally open to talking now if you're available or at any point this evening. She told me, let's check in tomorrow. I said, sure, no problem. And you can always check into our full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime.
I'm going to be honest with you, OP.
Yeah.
I don't think you guys are best friends.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel... You are friends?
Sure.
Doesn't feel like best friends to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. My
Well-
friend comes over, complains about the fajita spices. I say,
Yeah.
girl, smoked paprika's fine.
Yeah, it's
and then
like,
we
what do you
get
want me
over
to
that.
do?
Yeah. She says, oh, we're going to be there forever. I go, okay, you're not going to be here forever. My family's coming. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm having way different types of conversations if she's
Yeah.
my best friend.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Like, this feels like
and then avoiding
like
the problem.
kind of like friends that you haven't seen in a while and you're kind of
Yeah.
awkward. But like that's
you don't know each other.
the not knowing when if they were gonna call or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like, hey, are we talking?
Yeah.
You know, like I would have
Right,
been
like-
calling her up. I wouldn't wait until that evening. This
Yeah.
feels like a relationship, like the type of conversations or type of stuff that happens between like just friends.
Yeah. Not besties for the
Yeah.
besties.
I'm just being semantic though.
But there is a little bit more to the story. So Sunday rolls around and I told her, hey, I'm available to talk anytime after 1 because I have church. 12:45 rolls around. I tell her I'm done with church and I'm eating lunch. And then afterwards, I'm available anytime she is. I never hear from her. It shows that she read my text message at 1:38, but never calls me, never texts me, never gives me an update. So at this point, I'm pretty frustrated and fed up. I've talked with friends, family members, and everyone thinks that I need to keep my distance with her. I guess my question is, am I the a-hole for telling them that they can't live with us even if it's temporary? Am I in the wrong here? And that's the end of that story, but wait, what do we think? Do we think OP is the a-hole?
I think OP is not the a-hole for any of this. I
Yeah.
just think you've misled us. This is not your
Just
best
with
friend.
the best friend part.
Literally just the best friend comment. It's not your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah, I think even if like she were a friend or like just a friend, you know,
Yeah.
this is a very generous thing that you guys are doing for
Yeah.
them, like letting them stay over. So I feel like if I was in their position, like, yeah, maybe I would be a little bit blindsided being like, oh, what? Like I was
Yeah.
totally relying on you guys.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it'd be like, okay, but this isn't my house. You do like you would have to understand, be like, yeah, I'm a guest here.
Literally.
This isn't like I'm not paying rent, you know,
Yeah.
like I'll have to figure out something else.
No, I do think that you need to reassess your friendships though. Find an
We have
actual
a
best
different
friend.
radar.
Yeah.
But that is the end of that story. We've got another one coming right up.
My wife brought up something she did for me when we had a disagreement.
Well, you shouldn't be mad at her anymore because she washed the dishes.
I, 36 male, have known my wife, 37 female, half my life. We reconnected 10 years ago and started dating a little less than 7 years ago and have been married for 4 years. I bought our current house 10 years ago before we started dating and refinanced when rates were below 3%. We were together then and decided to just have me on the loan. I'm a government employee making roughly $120K a year, and she works in education making roughly $40K. Quick rundown on our finances. We joined our finances when we got married. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Joss Joe 87. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Oh, I have roughly 4K in credit card debt. She has around 10K in credit card and auto loan debt, plus she brought 50K in student loans, currently sitting around 25K. We came up with a budget and plan to tackle these debts while also investing in retirement plans from our jobs. A year ago, her grandfather passed away and she received around 150K. She sat down and asked what we should do with the money. With our salary, we can easily pay more than the minimums on our debts, plus set aside for retirement and vacation funds. I told her it was her money to use as she wanted. She decided to pay off the mortgage that was in my name. She met with a tax specialist and figured out the numbers. Honestly, this made me cry because it was genuinely one of the kindest things anyone has ever done for me.
Well,
Fast forward to last Friday.
She's
Uh-oh.
never gonna let you forget that it was the kindest thing. We both got home around the same time and started doing our normal routine after work. We chat about how work went and relaxed for a bit. She cooked dinner and I cleaned up afterward. I loaded the dishwasher and sat down to play Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm not a huge gamer by any means. My wife heard me mention that I wanted that game and its sequel that just came out, so she surprised me with them. I just told her I'd be playing for roughly an hour, which is how long I usually play before my eyes hurt. She sat down and cracked open a book like usual. It's something we do most days. That's
Cute.
not lovely.
Cute.
Roughly an hour later, she gets up and says, "It's my turn to take out the trash." I replied, "Okay, give me 5 minutes because I'm fighting this boss." "I paid the effing mortgage and you can't get off your butt to do this for me?"
Whoa.
Whoa,
Where
girl.
did this come from?
She must have had a bad day.
I must have been.
Must have. I'm shocked at this point because she's never like this. We communicated early on in our relationship when she moved into our house that if she wanted me to do something, to ask, and I would do it. If I was already busy doing something, I would give her an honest timeline on when I could do it. That if she needed it done immediately, then to let me know, and I would stop what I was doing and do it. This has worked wonderfully until then. I pause the game, take the trash outside, and just try to get my anger under control. She has never yelled at me before, but honestly, it's the holding this over my head that hurts my heart. I didn't ask her to do it, and our salary was more than enough to allow her to keep the money saved for herself. Eventually, I go back inside and told her I don't like her holding that over my head and that I never asked her to do that for me. She replied that I was ungrateful and gave me the silent treatment. I think they got to have a conversation about that.
Absolutely.
They
Like,
got to have a big old conversation.
you can wait 3 minutes.
Yeah.
While he fights this boss. Like,
Yeah.
you're paying off his mortgage, but he's fighting monsters for you,
He's
dude.
fighting monsters
He's fighting
for you.
literally monsters.
I don't, the thing is that I don't think it is uncommon to be snippy. I think that
Sure.
happens in every marriage.
Yeah.
I think you're always going to have days, like that. I think the problem is using paying off the mortgage
Uh-huh.
as a excuse to, or like as a reason to get mad.
Yeah.
Saying, well, you have to do everything I say because I did this.
Right, because that kind of sets like a precedent of like any good favor that I do for you, it means
It's not a favor.
yes, it's like a transaction.
It's a transaction.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next morning, she apologized to me in tears and said stress from work got to her.
There you go.
I believe she is telling the truth because some of her students are in harmful homes and child services haven't done anything to protect those kids. This whole issue is wildly out of character for her. My question is, how do I handle this? I'm not leaving her because this is the first and only time she's acted this way. She did say it though, and it still hurts. So how do I move on from this? Exactly what we already said.
Yeah.
There is an update, but like talk to her.
Mm-hmm.
Just say, hey, I understand. That happens to everyone, but please don't use that in this way. It was
Yeah.
very hurtful to me.
Yeah, and you're right. It was just a bad day. It's just a fluke.
Okay, just a fluke. But I do worry that, if she has another bad day, is she going to use this again?
True.
And that's why you have to have the conversation now.
Exactly.
Update, I cooked dinner for my wife last night, and after we had a nice and heartfelt conversation. She started the conversation by asking me if something was wrong because I made her favorite dish. She seemed nervous. I told her there was something wrong, and it was that I effed up big time when she paid the mortgage off. She started to interrupt, and I asked her to let me finish because I wasn't mad at her. I told her I was going to add her to the deed, and it should have happened as soon as she paid off our house. Well, she's not on the deed?
Interesting.
Yeah, the fact that she paid for it, she should definitely be on the deed.
I agree.
She started crying, telling me that I didn't have to do that, and I told her that I wanted to, and apologized for not doing so sooner. Wow, wait. Okay, it's kind of nice. She tried making excuses for me as to why I didn't do it sooner. She mentioned something that I had actually forgot about it. Shortly before she paid the house off, I had received a letter saying my FAA Class 2 medical certificate application had been denied for a medical issue, and I needed to see some doctors before they could reissue my Class 2. Honestly, this wasn't a big deal and was something that had happened to me before, and I thought that I had reassured her enough that everything was going to be okay. I said that I had forgot about that entire episode because it may have seemed like a big deal, but it really wasn't. I reiterated that I effed up big time and asked for her forgiveness, which she gave me. I asked her if not being added to the deed had bothered her, and she said it hurt her feelings, and it hurt to hear that because that is the last thing I ever wanted to do to her. I told her I would take today off, and if she could take a few hours off at the end of her day, that we would add her to the deed. Wait, okay, I love that OP was like, why would she bring that up?
Yeah.
This is so out of character.
Yeah.
I understand she was stressed, but why would she bring up the deed or the mortgage?
Yeah.
And then literally was like, oh, it's because she's not on the deed.
And then he fixed it.
And then he fixed it.
Beautiful.
Like, amazing.
yeah.
You know, wow, good job, OP.
Good job.
She said that she would do that, but wanted to take the whole day and we could go in the morning and then spend the rest of the day together.
Oh,
This is so sweet. It better not turn out bad. We kept talking and I brought up if things were more stressful at work than what she had let on. And she said that one of her students showed up and her clothes were covered in cat pee. Ugh.
Oh,
Not the
man.
first or second time for this little girl.
Oh.
She was crying at this point and she curled up and laid her head on my lap. I tried my best to soothe her by playing with her hair, and eventually she was able to start to relax. She volunteered that the little girl and some of her other students had been on her mind when she snapped at me. I had an idea on where this was going to go. Backstory, my wife found out in her early 20s that she wouldn't be able to have children. I won't go into detail as to why. Why is it fair that terrible people get to have children and I can't? Oh, this is so sad.
Oh my gosh.
I did my best to reassure her that I love her regardless and that maybe we could look into adoption like we discussed before we got married. My wife told me that when she reminded me it was my turn to take out the trash, that she wanted to walk and talk with me. Context on our house, we have a few acres of land and it's about a 5-minute walk to the pole trailer where we toss the garbage that I take every Saturday to the dump. She planned on asking me how I felt about fostering some of these kids.
Oh.
Wow. Despite my previous posts, some of these kids do get removed, but unfortunately, some do end up going back most of the time. We have the extra room, and I said that we could definitely do that. These people are perfect for each other.
This is amazing.
We talked about ways to try and manage her stress better, and she mentioned that when we go hiking, it helps her clear her mind and relax. So we agreed to do more hiking. I mentioned seeing a therapist as well, and she was open to that idea. So we will be looking into that for her. I reassured her if she feels overwhelmed that we are in this together, and she just smiled and said, I know, in a Han Solo voice. And we both just erupted in laughter. These people are so lovely.
I like that, like
oh.
what the title was pretty much about.
Yeah.
Already fixed.
Already fixed.
It's
like
already-
these people fixed it,
Yeah.
went beyond fixing it.
Yeah.
And now are even going further and like finding
Right.
ways to fix like more problems
Yeah.
that weren't even
Like,
brought up.
Now we just get a beautiful story of this couple.
Like learning how to like foster kids.
Exactly.
And-
This is so lovely.
Eventually, we circled back around to her inheritance, and I asked her if she regretted using her inheritance to pay off our house, and she said no. She thought about it and considered paying off other debts, but wanted to do this for us. She said the tax specialist advised her to pay off other debts first, but she wanted to know how doing this would affect our taxes. At the time, student loan interests were frozen and our credit cards were transferred to 0% interest cards. She understood that paying them off first and using the rest on the mortgage was probably still the better move, but she wanted the larger debt knocked out. She asked how I felt about slowing down our retirement saving and investing and just steamrolling the rest of the debt. I can retire at 50 and have to retire at 56, and I've been preparing since I joined the Air Force and continued in my current position. In my TSP alone, I'm closer to 2 million than 1 million. We will be just fine in retirement, but we both love to travel and I want to continue to see the world. We discussed this at length before I mentioned that instead of going to Australia for our 5th anniversary, that we had enough saved for it that we could just pay off the debt right now and still have enough to go to France, in particular Paris instead. But you should go to full episodes of stories just like this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story, but wow, I love these people.
I do too. This is such a nice like
Wholesome.
palate cleanser.
Yeah,
like,
from all the stories that we read about cheating and
yeah.
terribleness.
It's just like, oh, how lovely.
How lovely. Two people who communicated
And they
and
just-
realized that there was something underneath the surface. And
Exactly.
it wasn't just,
And at the end of the day, they just love each
they
other.
just love each other. So, moral of the story before we finish it off,
Yeah.
guys, get curious with your partners. If they snippy, if they get snippy, if they yell at you, maybe before, unless it's something serious,
Sure.
before we're like, oh, how dare they do that? Let's say like,
yeah.
did something happen at work today?
Yeah.
That's not normal. You don't normally do, you don't usually do that. What is something happen with family? Let's get curious.
Exactly.
Communication.
Exactly.
And maybe it'll happen just like this and be beautiful and perfect.
Exactly. She smiled and asked me if I was sure because Australia is my number one bucket list destination. I told her she always wanted to spend Christmas in Paris. So why not do it this year and pay off our debts? Australia can be our 10th anniversary trip. So our debt is completely paid off and we're going to Paris for Christmas. Let's just say that made her very, very happy. So we both used a sick day today and were able to meet with a real estate attorney and tax specialist. Without getting into details, there were a few potential drawbacks that were discussed with us, but ultimately nothing too drastic. Overall, it took about 3 hours and now my wife is officially on the deed. We are about to head out for a late lunch, then curl up in bed and binge watch Chicago Fire. Edit for a technicality, everything has been turned in for her to be on the deed. The wife and I consider it done and just waiting to get it officially official. So if that bothers people, then oh well. And that's the end of that beautiful story.
Wow.
I love it.
Lovely.
So lovely.
Problem was solved so fast.
So fast.
So easy and with so much love for both sides.
Really so much love.
Just a little mistake one day. She just got a little
literally
snippy and
one
frustrated.
Little snippy, snappy comment.
That's all,
and
man.
then beautiful perfection.
Beautiful.
I met my work partner's wife and now I feel jealous.
Uh-oh, the work wife meets the regular wife.
I, 25 male, have been with my girlfriend, 24 female, for 6 years, and recently I've been wondering if she is really the one. I didn't doubt that she was until I recently started a new career and got a new partner at work, 29 male. He's been married for a year and has been with his wife, 28 female, for 7 years. By the way, this comes from Work Partner Woes, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, him and I, spend over 40 hours a week together and have become fairly close. We've been talking about double dating so our SOs can meet. And when I brought it up to my girlfriend, I'll call her Sarah, she was really against the idea. In all honesty, she's been against this new career change in general, even though I make more money and get many more benefits, because she doesn't like the hours. And she says, everyone in my profession cheats. When I brought it up, she became very distant and said something along the lines of, why would I want to spend time with these people and give your partner the idea that he's so close to you and can know you better than me? It didn't really make sense, but after talking about it, it seemed like she felt like she was being replaced by my partner because we have to spend so much time together. And I only get to see her 2 or 3 times a week with my schedule, her part-time job, and she's going to uni full-time. That's so silly.
See, that's something that I hate so much.
Yeah.
Is when people are like, oh my gosh, you don't have enough time for me, even though I'm also busy.
Yeah.
And can't hang out when you can hang out. It's like,
Exactly.
come on, guys, what are we doing?
I assured her that she was my number one and he was just a cool guy that I'm forced to be with due to circumstances. We didn't talk about it again for a couple weeks. Then a few weeks ago, I was at the bar with my cousin. She was invited, but she doesn't like my cousin because she finds him too boisterous and candid. It feels like she doesn't like anyone. And I ended up bumping into my work partner and his wife, my first time meeting her. His wife is very unlike my girlfriend, much more extroverted. She immediately got very excited when my partner told her who I was and told me about all the funny stories she heard about me. I was kind of thrown off about how open and friendly she was, since my girlfriend sort of convinced me that her feelings of not wanting to meet or associate with them were normal. And like every girl would feel that way, I guess. I don't know. But his wife immediately launched into how we have to all get together finally, and watching the two of them together was just so opposite of how my girlfriend and I act. They animate each other like a 2-person comedy act, and I found myself becoming a bit jealous. I did get a little tipsy and admitted to his wife that my girlfriend was worried about the cheating that people associate with my field. And she sort of laughed and said that people say the same thing to her, but that she trusts my work partner. And she just laughs it off when people say things. Rough.
I
For
really want to
him.
know what they do.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking like cop
Oh,
partner,
yeah.
but it could be
was-
something else.
I was thinking either restaurant industry or firefighters, because I guess I saw one video where a divorce lawyer said that firefighters cheat, but
well, that make
one video.
maybe because I'm just thinking like what has partners. You know?
Yeah, true,
Yeah, 'cause
true.
he spends a lot of time with this guy specifically,
Right.
but also super rough to hear from like this guy that you admire's wife. I don't know, not rough, but it's like she's like, oh yeah, I just trust my partner, and he's like,
yeah.
right, yeah, yeah,
Like-
my girlfriend trusts me.
Yeah. It's like, you can do that?
Yeah.
Like-
Uh-huh.
I know, that's so sad.
At work the next day, my partner ended up telling me that my cousin I was with at the bar was talking to his wife and confessed to his wife that he doesn't even like Sarah. Well, the feeling's mutual. News to me, and that the things my cousin told her, he didn't specify, worried her because she was really looking forward to hanging out together and she was now afraid my girlfriend wouldn't like her. I pressed him for more details, but he either didn't know or didn't want to say. That night, I mentioned to Sarah casually that I bumped into them, and his wife really wanted to meet her. She didn't like this. Does she like anything?
I don't think she does.
I don't think she likes anything.
Does she even like you, OP?
I don't know. And again told me she was too busy and had no interest in pretending to be best friends with people who think they're so close to me. I think you need to be like, no, we are close. They don't think that.
Yeah.
We are close.
Yeah, I don't know what like her deal is.
She's possessive. She doesn't want him to have any other friends than her.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
So stupid.
I dropped it because it was late, but it started to get on my nerves how opposite these two women are and react to things. Then yesterday happened. My work partner and I had a really early meeting in a city about an hour and a half away. And the night prior, we weren't getting out of work until 10 p.m. My work partner offered to let me stay at his house because we had to be up at 4:30 a.m. And he lives an hour closer. I was stressing out because I didn't have time to iron a suit. And I called Sarah and asked if she would go to my apartment. We don't live together, but she has a key, and set up a suit for me. It's crucial that we look put together at work, and I know she wasn't doing anything that night. She got really angry. First, that I was staying over at my partner's house. Then, that I was treating her like a slave. I have never in my life asked her to do anything like this, but I'm still very new in my position, and I'm stressed out. He asked her to set up the suit, that's it?
Yeah, because we all know that that's exactly what slaves did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they did.
They ironed a suit one time.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a really terrible part of history.
Yep.
Wow, that's crazy.
Crazy.
It doesn't seem like she likes you. Because I feel like if a partner asks me to do something,
Yeah.
and I'm not saying like if a partner's asking you to do stuff all the time, that's totally different.
Sure.
That's like, okay, well, it comes to a point.
Right.
But it feels like this is a one-time thing
Yeah.
that he's asking as a favor.
Yeah.
I don't know, it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right. Like it
If you
really
like
isn't.
him.
Yeah, if you like him, if you want to show that you like or love him.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how long are they together now?
I think 6 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
6 years and you don't want to go to his apartment to
Yeah.
iron a suit for him to help
That
him in his job.
Is pretty crazy.
She has
Yeah, 6
issues for
years.
sure.
Absolutely. She said she had too much work to do and refused. I ran home after work, grabbed my stuff, and drove to my partner's house. I guess I was visibly agitated because his wife asked me what was wrong the minute I arrived, and I just spilled it about how stressed and exhausted I was, nervous for tomorrow, and how Sarah had snapped at me and wouldn't help me. His wife just said, okay, we'll have to get back to the Sarah thing another time, but go relax and I'll get your suit ready. I tried to argue because I felt really bad, but she wasn't having any of it and started to flat out ignore my protests while she got the iron set up. It just showed me again how different they are and what a supportive partner actually looks like. I got off really early today and I have barely talked to Sarah all day. Now I'm just drinking adult sodas in my apartment alone, something I rarely do, and wondering if this relationship is even worth it anymore. I don't have a crush on my partner's wife or anything, but she seems to possess all of the qualities I feel like I want, and I'm finding myself getting really jealous and annoyed. But after 6 years, I really don't want to throw everything away if this is something that we can work through. 6-year relationship, am I getting too hung up on grass is greener syndrome? And there is an edit and an update, but what do you think?
I feel like it's probably worth a conversation.
Yes. Yeah.
If you're in there for 6 years.
I don't think this is like breakup yet.
Yeah.
There are problems. It's not just a grass
Yeah.
is greener thing. Like
Right.
you have problems in your relationship. She's not being supportive. She's not being really engaged in the
Mhm.
people around you, which is important to a relationship too.
Right. Right.
So it's definitely a conversation and you see what she says from there.
Yeah, I feel like it would be like a grass is greener thing if it's like, oh, like that other partner is into all the same sports. Like my partner doesn't have the same hobbies as me or something like that. Like that would be
Exactly.
it. But the possessiveness and how she's like treating other people and acting towards other people, that's important stuff that you want to look out for.
Yeah, and it really doesn't feel like OP has a crush on this wife at all. It
No,
just
not at
feels
all.
like he is drawn in by the elements of their relationship
Yeah. Yeah.
that he wants in his own.
Exactly.
Edit, I see I'm getting a lot of reoccurring questions, so instead of answering each of them, I'll leave this here. We don't live together because prior to this new job, I didn't make as much, and my apartment is very small and not meant for 2 people, and she's doing her master's and only works part-time for low pay, and doesn't want to pitch in for rent so we can move to a bigger place. What? Okay. She lives at home with her parents.
Even with my new job, I can't afford a bigger place all on my own yet, while also paying for student loans, utilities, my car, which is a necessity where I live. Also, I know 2 to 3 times a week seeing each other is not a ton, but we spend all my days off together. We don't see each other more than this prior either, because my old job was still 40 plus hours and I was also going to school. People think it's strange that I mentioned her being introverted as if it were a bad thing. It's not. I used to think I was happy not seeing our friends often, but my job is social in nature and I find that I enjoy being more outgoing than I used to be. There's nothing wrong with being an introvert.
Mm-hmm.
However, if you're an extrovert and you want to go and do those things and you are with a partner who's like, I don't ever want to do those things, you guys aren't a good match.
Yeah.
Because personally, if like I'm very extroverted, and if I had a partner who was like, I don't want to meet your friends, I don't want to hang out with your friends, I'd be like,
Right.
we can't be in a relationship.
Right.
Sorry.
Yeah, because it's also the difference too is like I feel like if she was just an introvert, she would probably be like, oh, I just really don't want to talk to people right now.
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I don't want to pretend to be best friends with
Yeah,
someone
she's
that
just also
thinks
just
to know
rude.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
She's not just an introvert, she's rude.
right.
This doesn't mean I go out every night. I see my friends and cousin maybe once every 1 to 2 months, or that I want to go to bars and clubs. But it does bug me that anytime I suggest doing anything, she makes an excuse like she doesn't like the person, has no interest in meeting new people, doesn't feel like seeing her friends, doesn't feel like getting dressed up, she's tired, etc. I want us to do new things together. Additionally, I've been asked a lot what I've done to support her and why I expect support. Let me make it clear first that I have never asked her to run an errand or do anything for me before. I asked this one time because I was exhausted and stressed. I didn't expect her to drive an hour to drop it off at my partner's house, just leave it on my bed so I could grab it on my way home. As for what I do to support her, I've helped her many times with research for papers when she was stressed over school. I've taken a week off work when one of her relatives passed away and she needed to be with someone. I've taken her car to get fixed numerous times, etc., etc. I text or call whenever I can, which is multiple times a day, and I talk to her every night when I get off. I don't even spend tons of off-duty time with my partner. The one time at the bar was literally the first time I've seen him outside of work. We have just been talking about all getting together for ages. And there is an update. Yeah, you guys aren't compatible.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a thing that you can fix, because it just seems like she's not interested in hanging out with anyone, really.
Right, right.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, have the conversation with her.
Yeah, why not?
You've been together for 6 years.
Right.
I just wonder why he wasn't noticing this before.
Yeah, I'm curious about that too.
Yeah, interesting.
It probably didn't come out of nowhere. He's
No.
not saying it came out of nowhere too, which a lot
He's
of
just
people
saying
usually
he
do.
noticed it now.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So,
He's like, she's always been like this, but I'm seeing it.
mm-hmm.
Update. My career is known for cheating only because of the unpredictable hours. Some dirt pickle, apparently a lot of them on Yahoo Questions and Wedding Bee and other cesspits of advice that show up on Google, use these hours to their advantage, i.e., oh, I got caught on overtime tonight, when really they're out cheating. This is not a prevalent thing in my experience, but my girlfriend Sarah was Googling my career spouse, came across hundreds of articles, most of them benign, and latched onto the few that stated we all used our schedules for the sake of cheating and nothing else.
Yikes.
If she thinks you're cheating or you're capable of cheating, why is she with you?
Yeah, good question.
That's crazy.
Good question.
I'm not delusional. A lot of you told me that the only reason I admired my work partner's wife is because she showed her best face to me in public. Of course this is true. I don't expect anyone to be perfect. What stands out to me, however, is that there is a lot of downtime in my position and my partner and I BS. Every single thing that he has ever said about his wife is positive. Naturally, I would hope that would be the case for anyone, but I see something in the way he talks about her that I do not feel when I think about Sarah. He ruminates about their vacations and silly stories and stupid random nights they have together, and I realize that I don't get to enjoy any of that with her. Sarah doesn't like being out of her comfort zone. She doesn't like being spontaneous. She doesn't like being silly. I never knew that this bothered me before, but when I saw how funny and silly they acted together right in front of my face, it just confirmed me that I could actually have fun in a relationship. It made me realize that I'm not having fun, and that sucked.
Yeah, that sucks.
Dude, I don't know if this relationship's gonna make it out.
I don't think it's
I don't
going
know
to.
if you can fix this with a
Yeah.
conversation, because it's just
Yeah.
her.
And I
The
think
problem
that's
is
what
her.
I think
It
that's what
is
he's
you, not
noticing.
me.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Rough.
Dang. Yeah. I think it's worth maybe once you're bringing it up, maybe mentioning some of these things so you're not just like, bye, it's
Yeah,
just not
blindsiding.
compatible. But yeah, man, it's just not right.
It ain't right.
You should have fun in a
You
relationship.
should. So after I slept over at my work partner's house, Sarah wasn't talking to me except for sending me passive-aggressive texts about how she hoped that I enjoyed my romantic evening and that she hoped he was worth it. What? Does she just think you're cheating with everyone you talk to?
Probably.
This is exhausting. Honestly, I'd be like, hey, I can't be with a partner who doesn't trust me.
Yeah.
You just have shown no trust in me.
No, honestly.
Many of you indicated how insecure she must be that we can barely spend much time together, and suddenly it seems like I'm becoming close to someone new, and after 6 years, we maybe weren't as close as we could or should be. I took this to heart and I saw her point. So the next time I was off, this past Sunday, I took her out to brunch, one of the few activities she likes to do. Bought us some mimosas to break the ice and tried to talk to her about the way that she's been feeling. I started the conversation saying I know that it sucks that we can't see each other as much as we wish we could right now. And believe me, I wish that could be the case. However, I feel like this is causing more tension than it used to. And I want to know what you've been feeling about all this lately. I think that's really nice.
It's a great
I think
start.
that's a great start. I was hoping for an honest conversation where we could both learn from each other and move forward with new compromises, but she just unleashed. She told me that she doesn't think I have a reason to be close to anyone but her. That my partner sounds like a fruitcake. Yikes. Her words, not mine. That just wants to F me. That his wife is probably just fed up with not getting any wiener from him.
What?
And is trying to move in on me and on and on.
Delusion. This is what we call delusion.
Wow.
Hysteria.
Well, also just blatant homophobia.
That too.
In retrospect, I feel like she is just very insecure, and this was her way of attacking me and trying to hold me back so I could reassure her. I wouldn't reassure her. I'd say, this
No.
is over.
Yeah.
You are being very awful.
Yeah. Because when people are making up all of those fantasies in their mind, like she doesn't know them. Like she doesn't want to get to know
never
them.
met them.
Yeah. So like this is all so baseless and just made up in her mind. So when people are like that, there's no convincing them.
No, and she doesn't want to meet them because
Yeah.
she wants to live in her fantasy world where you're the bad guy and then
Exactly.
she can keep isolating you.
Yeah, there's nothing that you can do to change your mind on that. So
But at the moment, I couldn't think of a way to respond. I tried to deny what she was saying, explained to her that it wasn't the case, and asked what I could do to show her. But she just kept verbally attacking my partner and his wife and me for even entertaining the idea of being friends with them. I stopped talking and we ended up finishing our meal in silence. Her fuming, me just feeling awkward at this point. Afterwards, we got back into my car and I started driving towards her house. She noticed that we weren't going towards the direction of my apartment and she started yelling at me for trying to drop her off and not wanting to spend more time with her. Oh, because you're such a joy to spend time with.
yeah, why would he want to?
But you know who is a joy to spend time with?
Who?
Us.
What?
And you can listen to more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime if you want to have more fun times.
Exactly.
But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Get out of there.
I think that we've come to a point where it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just one issue that I think could be fixed. I think that OP is realizing that this is how she's been the whole time.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't have to be like that.
he's like, oh, wait, I don't have to settle for someone who doesn't like me.
Yeah, like what? You
Who I
guys, like-
don't have fun with.
Right.
He's like having fun with his partner and his wife. And he's like, wow, I have no fun with my girlfriend.
Yeah, literally.
That's so sad.
It's so sad, but I mean, good that he's coming to that conclusion
Yeah.
at all.
Absolutely.
Because now he can move on and find that, because that's an important thing.
It is important. At this point, I had had enough. I drove to her house in silence, her berating me the entire way, and then listened to her continue to scream at me for 10 minutes after we pulled up, until finally getting out, slamming the passenger door, and going inside the house. I went back to my apartment, spent about 30 minutes on the phone with my sister, 2 years younger than me, asking her what the F I should do, and then decided, probably cowardly after such a long relationship, but really not wanting to be screamed at anymore, to send her a long text message about my reasons for breaking up with her. Ooh, bud. Ooh,
yeah.
bud. You were really doing well.
Yeah, text message breakups, not the best.
Not the best. I understand.
Right. I
'cause-
get you don't want to be yelled at.
And she shouldn't be yelling at you.
Right.
Like, that's not okay at all.
Yeah.
Maybe even a letter would have been better. Or voicemail.
A call.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah.
She didn't take this well and blew up my phone over and over until I just turned it off completely. The next day I had work and I tried to talk to her about things back and forth over text, but she kept deferring back to her state of cursing at me and insulting me. In the end, I just told her that I could no longer be a part of her life and blocked her. Wow. What a messy end to a 6-year relationship.
For real.
Dang. So that was 4 days ago. I haven't heard from her since. She deleted her Facebook though. And honestly, I feel a lot calmer these last 4 days than I have in a long time. It makes me feel guilty at times, but also kind of excited that I can act however I want to act from now on without someone looking down at me for it. And that's the end of that story.
I hate tattoos, and my fiance got one in the worst place possible.
Forehead.
Butthead.
Butthead.
I, male 31, don't like tattoos. I don't think you're special for having one. I don't think you're a deep person for getting a random Chinese character on your skin, and I especially don't like those intricate big tattoos that cover a lot of skin. I just don't like them.
Well, that's kind of rude.
By the way, this comes from user Dalek Philosopher, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give you good advice, goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, and if you do something different, let us know in the comments, and OP says. Having said that, I have friends who have all of the above, and that's fine. It's not on my skin. It doesn't bother me. No skin off my back. As long as we can talk about anything else, it's all fine. Enter my soon-to-be wife.
You want me to enter your soon-to-be wife?
30 female.
Oh, no. I don't think I want to do that.
We've been together for 5 years. She's painfully aware of my feelings, but she still wanted to have a tattoo before we marry, a symbol of us to carry with her. I didn't really like the idea, but what could I really do? I love her, and what harm could a tattoo do? We talked about where she should have it done, and the back of the wrist came as a suggestion. The shoulder, her leg, or her back, stamp, etc. She goes and has it done, and I can't be there with her because I have an important client visiting at work, and time off is impossible. She texts me during work, tells me it's done, and that she loves me. I ask for a picture of the end result, and she tells me tonight it will be a surprise. So... okay.
This is going to be so funny.
So I finally get home. She's dolled up, super tight, black dress, stockings, everything for a night of fun. She tells me to go have a shower and she'll have dinner ready in the meantime. What?
Why are we,
Okay.
why are we acting like this tattoo's like a brand new car?
That's
Like,
weird.
All
It
right.
feels like the wrong order of
Yeah.
show up with the dress and the stockings and then you're like, I'll make dinner.
Go shower.
Go take a shower now. Okay. I ask to see the tattoo. She tells me later, I'm frustrated. So I go have a shower, come back, and have dinner. Then we go to the fun stuff. I didn't see the tattoo on her wrist or legs, so I think myself it's either on her back, upper thigh, or her shoulder. I'm fine with that. I undo her zipper in the back, then she turns and lets her dress down. Instant mood change. She had it done on her chest above her chesticles. It's big and in your face. It leaks above them, like on top of them. It has thick contours. Yeah, this didn't go well with me. She completely ignored my opinions, disregarded the places where we agreed she could have it done, and it's a monstrosity of a tattoo, in a place where I will always have to see it if we make love, or she wears a bikini or something that has cleavage. It's also something that is personal to me. Of all the things she mentioned the tattoo will be, she never told me about this. She said she wanted it to be a gift to me to show me her dedication.
What is this gift? Like, this is a gift from me to you. I'm going to put a tattoo on my body.
On my
not tell you
bazingas.
where it is. I'm going to put you right here where you look at a
I'm
lot.
going to put it right on my augas. Augas.
One, I think nobody... sure, you can do it. Personally, I don't think you should get a tattoo for somebody else. I think you should get a tattoo that's...
Especially not for someone who hates tattoos.
Bingo. I think you should get a tattoo for you, or it symbolizes something that you want. If it symbolizes a bond that you have with somebody, yeah, maybe you should tell them where you're getting it or what you're getting of. If she was playing a game of, you're gonna have to guess. You're gonna have to guess, and I'm gonna do it for you, and you're gonna love it. Not my cup of tea. You can do it. Surprises are fun. Not a very fun surprise for me.
No.
Again, just do tattoos for you. But also,
I agree.
OP, what are you gonna do now, huh? The thing you hate. What a crossroads you're at. You love this woman, but you don't love that.
I feel disrespected and ignored. Like my wishes and desires have no meaning to her. To me, it shows what she thinks my status will be in our relationship. that she would just be able to go over anything I say and take drastic decisions without caring about the consequences. Well, a consequence of this is that I'm calling off the wedding, and she is in freak-out mode.
Ah, saw that coming. Wow. Over a simple tattoo? I mean, I guess you really hate tattoos.
I don't know, bro. Y'all both sound like red flags to me at this point.
Giant.
She says she thought I would like it, and that she wanted to show her dedication to me, that she'll have it removed. Basically anything she thinks I want to hear. My side of the family is understanding of my reaction. Let me guess, they don't like tattoos
I
either.
think they hate tattoos too.
They know my standing on this matter. They know it wasn't something I just liked to pretend I hate but secretly love. Her side of the family is split. Her mother is more conservative, so her motives are not too straightforward. Her father is on my side. Her sister is all in on dear sister's side. Her brother's neutral and doesn't want to get involved. To me, even if she does get the tattoo removed, it shows her willingness to ignore my side of things, do things her way, then scramble and try to fix the eventual F-up. I can't have that in a relationship. Dude,
You sound a little controlling.
what do you guys think? The wedding's definitely off. That decision I won't revert. What steps would you take regarding the relationship? Is there anything worth saving here? Is this how she'll always be, or was this a spur-of-the-moment decision? We got comments.
Thank gosh, there's comments.
We got comments.
Oh.
Comment 1, out of curiosity, what was the tattoo? OP says, wings with a heart in the middle. Inside the heart, there's a symbol that's a birth sign I have on my body. Reply says, what, like an actual birthmark you have? That's really weird. Her tattoo, not you having a birthmark. OP says, yes, I have a birthmark that looks like a flower. Oh, yeah, that's the weirdest thing ever to get a flower tattoo. Think 5 petals. If you'd saw it, you'd think I had a flower form pressed on my skin and it left a mark there. She had the tattoo with wings on the side, symmetrical above her bazingas, over her chest. The wings grow from the shape of a heart, and in the middle of the heart is the flower that's a replica of my birthmark, and that's unmistakably what it is. And there is an update.
Straight into it.
I would like to thank those who provided feedback and perspective and have not straight out called me an a-hole. We'll continue with the wedding as planned.
What? Okay.
Well, OP, I don't know if she should stay with you because, as you said, you were going to call the wedding off and that was your non-revocable circumstance. So really, you're coming off as a wishy-washy person. And you can't have that in a relationship. I don't think you should get married. I don't think you're ready to be a partner like that to somebody. We realized we still need to work on our communication, but we're also painfully aware of how miserable we both were during this whole ordeal. This has been our first serious fight. And what happened was insecurity. She had this idea that I don't think she's dedicated to our relationship, so she wanted to prove it somehow. Turns out the end result wasn't something she was that happy with either. My initial reaction didn't help, and for the next few days, things spiraled out of control. After the posts here on Reddit, I decided we needed to sit down and put our ducks in order. Again, that's another phrase that's wrong. It's ducks in a row. Ducks in a row are affairs in order. Ducks in a row. What is wrong? What's going on?
I think it's ever since we got to Bali that all these sayings and phrases have really flipped upside down.
I love her, and she loves me. And there was no reason why we would not be able to untangle this mess. Why I hate tattoos, well, all she knew is that I'm not a fan of them, but not the reason. When I was younger, a lot younger, I was horribly mistreated by someone that had many tattoos. Well, gee freaking willikers, man. Maybe you should tell her that before... you have communication problems. It's time to work on that one. I don't associate people that have tattoos with abusers, but I'm also not a fan of the tattoo culture because of it. She didn't know because I never talked about it with her. I suppose I never wanted her to think I'm vulnerable or that I was.
You want to marry this woman? Dude. You want to marry this woman? And you're like, I don't think I can be vulnerable around this person. I'm going to be living with her for the rest of my life. And I don't want to be vulnerable with this person. I'm sorry. For that, Sharks, I'm out.
You can imagine, after these many years, my thoughts on the matter are still mixed. Anyway, she was horrified to learn about this and started crying. She will have the tattoo removed. After the original post, I've come to the conclusion that her new skin decoration is something I will have to live with. But at the end of the day, she's the one I want, and a mild annoyance will not define our relationship. I told her this, but she will get it removed anyway. I think she is horrified by this revelation. We also decided on couples counseling to see if that is something that will work for us. If either of us will be uncomfortable, we will not continue with it. We also decided not to be a-holes to one another in petty matters. I will wear shorts again, god dang it! That was a funny conversation. We won't impose restrictions on one another. I will go out with friends and watch football with them again. She can go and meet her girlfriends. We will put a lot of work into ourselves individually and as a couple. Turns out we have a problem with communication, but the prospects are positive. Her insecurities didn't want me to go out with friends because some of them are single, and what if they bring women there that tempt me? So she always had to be there. But she doesn't like football, so you can see where this is going. I'm happy with the results of the original post. She's happy I took the initiative and broke the ice. My fears were that she had the tattoo done as a power play, but there was no malice. I want a relationship of equals where a decision can be made as a couple. We will see where this is going, but the last 2 days have been amazing. And by the way, you'll think we have an amazing number of full episodes with stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Just search OK Storytime, and you can get to listening whenever you want. I don't think y'all are ready for marriage.
I think maybe things are being postponed. At least you guys are working on couples therapy, couples counseling. I think, again, solo stuff is good. 100%. I think the notion, we both called it out, is the fact that she needed to get a tattoo to prove her love to you. Huge thing that should have been communicated.
Yeah, that's crazy.
The fact that this is what drew the line of how to communicate all of this, crazy. But it came to that.
It seems to be a lot of control on both sides where it's like, dude, if she can't trust you to hang out with your friends because some of them are single and might bring women to tempt you, so she has to be with you at all times, that means you're not ready for marriage.
And you have to get a tattoo of this significance. Like, if it's a little thing, cute, but like if that's significance to prove that you love somebody, I don't know, man. I don't know. But
and you could have just gotten that somewhere else that was agreed upon as okay. And you just went overboard, and yeah, I don't know. Personally, y'all do have a listening and communication problem, I think.
But they're working on it, which is good.
Yeah, that's good.
I think
sure.
You should also ask her, like, hey, do you actually want a tattoo for you? Because you can get something that you want, maybe a small thing. I don't know. We can see how that works. But if you only got a tattoo for you, for the relationship, okay, great. But I would ask her. But I think you guys are working through this. I think you guys need to take a couple steps back and just work things slower and just see how things work.
Agreed. I was asked this question, so here's the answer. We live together. We own a house 50-50. The night of the tattoo reveal, I went to my parents. She went to her parents. Essentially, until 2 days ago, none of us lived at home. And she said she doesn't want to be there if I'm not there. As a closing note, this could have been a huge mistake for both of us. Communication is key. I urge couples out there to learn from my story and open up to one another. Had I done that sooner, I would have never been here. Thank you. And that is the end of that story.
My girlfriend discovered my savings. Now she wants to be a stay-at-home mom.
How much are you making?
A bit of background, my girlfriend and I are 30 and 31 respectively. We have been dating for about a year. I work as a high-level engineer at a good firm, and my girlfriend works as a payroll specialist at a good firm too. I make significantly more than her 3 times. By the way, this comes from Throwaway Trophy Girlfriend, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. Things were good in our relationship until I showed her my retirement and savings. She now doesn't see the point of working and has started framing our relationship in that she is the beautiful one and I'm the nerdy engineer that was lucky to have her. Before, when we met, she was all about making it her own way, eventually starting her own company with her sister and sourcing and recruiting. But now she jokes about driving a Range Rover and wearing Lululemon and going to yoga. We were having a discussion again about this trophy wife stuff. She brought up that I was nerdy back in the day while she was very popular. I told her she's not a trophy wife, that yes, she's attractive, but it's not a huge difference between us. I told her had it been the case that I met her when she was 22 and I was my current age, then sure, but she isn't 22 anymore. After I said that, she just started crying like crazy. She started saying that I think of her as ugly and used up, that her best years are behind her. She just told me that if I'm not happy to be with her, why am I even here? To stop wasting her time. I tried to talk to her, but she was in no state for a conversation. I don't know what to say, guys. For me, I just wanted to say that I think we're similar
in attractiveness. Like, I don't think anyone, when they see us, turns their head and is like, oh, she's with him because of the money. Or dang, he's so lucky to be with her. I think it's mutual. She was the one that, if anything, went after my attractiveness first. What should I do? I like the fact that we both work and I don't want to change that dynamic. And I don't want her to think too that she is above me, that I'm so lucky to have her. I want her to think of us as equals, and in my attempt to do that, I hurt her feelings. What's the next move? Top comment says this seems to be a very textbook case of psychological projection. Because of your discrepancy in salary, she likely feels she is worth less than you. She likely feels like her best years are behind her, seeing as you took off and are only going up. Her poking around about her being a trophy wife is seeking validation that she is not worthless and that you still value her, and her financial contributions are nothing to be ashamed of. I don't think she's a gold digger. I think she's taking some hits on her self-esteem, though no fault of your or her own. I think some counseling would go a long way here. Edit. Thank you all for your awards and replies. I appreciate the recognition. There is a lot to unpack for both the OP and his girlfriend in the situation, but the point is that is worth unpacking. Cheers. D-Bomb 18 says, I think that the trophy wife nonsense started when she found out how inadequate her money is compared to yours. She was/is ambitious. She wanted success and was confident in her achievements. When she found out that your income created something that she wanted to accomplish, but is now realizing that she may never get that type of money or success, I think it sent her into a midlife crisis. Her new perspective demonstrates her desire to be the best at something. The trophy wife you kind of described above is a new visual successful image to her. She has money, is beautiful, can wear the name brand clothes, does yoga, and has a husband who appreciates her for her looks because she is popular. These examples show that she wants to be appreciated and successful in some aspect of her life. I think she's going the superficial route because she feels like she hasn't achieved the success she wanted at her age. She isn't as financially successful as you. Her job is probably peaked in salary and she needs to feel needed, appreciated, and better than you in some way. 3 days later, a couple things I want to add to the people that said my girlfriend was a gold digger. She has really climbed her own way from university to where she is now and has a good work ethic. Like, this is not just someone that their whole life. Also, to the people that said my girlfriend lost motivation after seeing my wealth, she has dated guys that made more than me. Overall, I wanted my girlfriend to feel special, like she's the most beautiful woman in the world, but I don't like that she is above me, that she is on a pedestal, and that I am this inferior engineer. We had a discussion and things honestly just got worse. I tried to talk to her, but she was just bringing up the worst things I said to her without any of the context of her basically calling me ugly. Also, she brought up too that my dad was awkward as heck. Dang, now we're bringing in parents into the conversation?
What?
She's like, also, you're ugly and your dad's awkward. She brings up my comments about me saying that she would be a trophy wife at 22, but not at 30. She goes on to say that all the engineers she's met have a chip on their shoulder for not getting laid when they were in college. And she goes on to start saying that the bitterness is coming out, thinking that they're entitled to a hot young girlfriend because they couldn't date them in college. And that is why I made that comment, trying to tear her down. Oh, and so he was like, yeah, maybe if you were 22, that
right,
makes a little bit more sense.
Earlier.
Yeah.
It was like back when you were 22, you were hot.
Well,
but
I think maybe what he was trying to say is like, you were hot young girlfriend, maybe if you were 22, but you're the same age as me. So it does, you can't.
he
and
was
then she's
saying
like,
you're not a younger
yeah,
girlfriend.
Exactly.
But it
And she was
sounded
like,
wrong.
yeah, she was here and I'm not hot. I just got frustrated. So I was like, yeah, I agree. I was never able to get the hot girl in college. And even with all the money I make, still can't get them now. So unfortunately, I have to go secondhand and with a couple of wrinkles. Again, this just set things off where she called me a misogynist for calling her secondhand. Not wrong. Said that I treated her like a used car, and pretty sure when she tells her friends about her fight, that's what she'll tell them. I don't know what to say. It was just ridiculous. Like, she started this whole thing that I can't get the girls I supposedly really want. Like, she's the one making this whole dating thing into have and have nots. So if you want that analogy, I'll play that analogy too. I just agreed with it. And now I'm the bad guy? I don't know what to do. She will say 10 bad things about me, that I was ugly, that I'm lucky to be with her. But when I respond, she blows up and storms out. I don't know what the heck to do. Like, we had fights before, but this just seems to be impossible. We had decent communication before, but now it's trash. I don't know what to do. Like, I am more than open to talk without putting each other down, but she really wants me to be in subservient position. I don't know, maybe in her past relationships she had that power over guys where they were like, OMG, I'm dating someone so attractive. But I'm not okay with that. I don't know what she wants at this point. It seems like she's looking for a reason to break up. I know some people are saying break up,
but I really was hoping to settle down soon. I hate the idea of starting from scratch all over again and dating. Like, we had so many amazing times together and a good idea of the future. Dude is in the cost sunk fallacy.
Just prove her wrong. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I can't get any of the hot girls now?
Get a hot girl. Leave her. I was excited. Someone beautiful and ambitious, and I got along with well. Now this, 2 months ago, we were talking about rings. How many people we would have at our wedding. Whether we will send our kids to private school or not. By the way, you can send your kids over to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Please send me your analysis of the situation. Here it is. Break up with her. If there is something from the female perspective I don't understand, please tell me. She doesn't like you. I don't want to let this go without putting in my all. But I'm not going to be in a subservient position. What should I do? How can I handle this properly? And Deleted says, yeah, this relationship is over. There's no bouncing back from this. Katie CXX says, unfortunately, I have to go secondhand. Has yikes stamped on it in 104-point font, man. And that's the end of that stories, folks.
Yikes. The more he really like doubled down on
Yeah.
being like, and she's really not that great.
Yeah.
Like, I was starting to be like, whoa.
No, that's the
dude,
thing. He doesn't like her either.
Right.
Like that, he's an active participant in how unhealthy this relationship is.
She started the
Leave.
whole thing, but he's kind of like really like,
He's like, oh, you're gonna hit me. I'm gonna hit you 2 more times. It's like, no, this is not a boxing match.
the engineer brain being
Yeah.
like, I really would like a detailed analysis.
yeah. Can you send that over to me, please?
Everything I did wrong.
It's pretty easy, man. But that's the end of that story. I made a new friend, and my wife is unhappy with my plans with him.
Oh, just be friends. Come on.
My wife, Amy, 27 female, and I, 27 male, have a spare room in our home. We've gone back and forth since we moved in 10 plus years ago about what we wanted to do with it, but we never took the initiative to actually implement any of those plans. We already have a sufficient number of guest rooms and an office, so the rooms just sit there unutilized. I'm not that worried about it, but my wife brings it up now and then. These mentions are just of the unused room itself, not anything concrete she actually wants to use it for. By the way, this comes from Spare Room Throwaway, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, I made a new friend, Ben, 30 male, about 8 months ago, and it was very much one of those we connected for the first time we spoke to each other situations.
Aw.
I've actually never had that many close male friends, so this connection is especially important to me. The conversation flowed so easily, we had loads in common. I didn't think such a huge amount of genuine love and respect for a person could be developed in less than a year, but it's been very cool to experience that and get to know him. One of the things that we bonded over was a similar love for art and music. Ben is way, way more talented than I am when it comes to painting, but it's something we both enjoy. His birthday is coming up, and I thought on top of what else I was getting him, I could turn the spare room into something similar to an art studio for both of us to use. I already ordered a few things for it and was getting ready to jump into painting the walls when my wife came in and demanded to know what I was doing. I explained that I was finally fixing up the spare room. She said it was unacceptable I had done this without confirming with her that I was okay. But I didn't think I would need to since it's been 2 years and the room has basically never been touched. Am I the a-hole? So he didn't do anything yet. He was just about to paint the room.
So it feels like a no to me.
It feels like a no. I think it's not an a-hole move that you were about to like paint it. I think maybe you probably should have talked to her about it, but she shouldn't. Like, I feel like that's a little bit of an overreaction for her to be like,
yeah.
this is unacceptable. You should have been like, hey, can you like talk to me about that before?
Right.
So just we make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
I do think if you haven't talked to her about Ben using the spare room, that is an a-hole move.
Yeah. That is a big deal.
Yeah, like I was a little bit unclear whether or not that's happened.
Right.
So if she knows, then, and this is all about the paint, then this is kind of, I don't know if we need to go a-hole. Maybe it was inconsiderate.
Right.
But if she doesn't know about Ben,
Yeah.
that's maybe a problem. Consensus, a-hole. People point out that it seems he wants to spend time with Ben instead of Amy. Really? Notable comment says his birthday's coming up soon, and I thought of, on top of what else I was getting him, I could turn the spare room into something similar to an art studio. What else are you getting him for his birthday, OP, is what I want to know.
Ben's not moving in. He's just using the spare room for an art studio. I see.
Yeah, which is arguably weirder
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah. Inevitable Music 7799 says, I would bet money them not being able to find a use for the room is because wife was thinking nursery. While her husband's
Mm,
thinking man cave for my best friend that doesn't even live at this house. Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. So, okay. It seems like she definitely doesn't know. Look, I'm just going to throw it out there because I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one thinking it. The way you talk about this relationship with Ben versus your wife makes it sound like he's more than just a friend. Maybe it's on a subconscious level only. You don't unilaterally decide what to do with a room in a house you share with your wife. It's weird that your first thought is, oh, I want to set up this space for me and the friend. It's weird that you view this as some kind of gift to the friend on top of whatever else you've gotten him. It's weird you want to give a key to the house you share with your wife to the friend without asking her. You're the a-hole. I think I didn't fully understand when I first read it.
I think so too.
So, yeah, because I was like, that's so weird. It couldn't possibly be that.
Right.
So he wants to give his friend a room in their house as either a communal or just an art studio for him, it seems. And he hasn't asked his wife about that. I thought he just wanted to paint the room and maybe like let him stay for a little bit. No.
He wants to paint the room and then paint a whole bunch of more stuff.
Yeah. And like Ben just gets to have part of this room now.
Yeah,
You
that's
can't
so
do that
weird.
without talking to your wife.
Yeah, what?
I'm on these comments side. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's I don't know if it's like a too friendly or something. I don't know. I can't say that yet.
Yeah.
But I think it's disrespectful for sure.
I'm just like so confused by it because
Yeah.
it is one thing to be like, hey, like my friend's gonna like stay here in this room
That's
for a
what
little
I
bit.
thought for a second.
Right. It's
No.
still in that case, it's like a no. Definitely talk to your wife.
Yeah.
You like stupid. But then this is like it's the same
It's
amount.
like having an
of
office
not
in someone
okay.
else's house.
Yeah, like it just is boggling my mind right now.
My mind is boggled.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that thinks this guy is in love with his friend? Either way, you're the a-hole. And there is an update. 6 days later, Ben and I sat down and talked on Tuesday night about everything. It was overwhelming, to say the least. He was gentle and sweet, as always, and allowed me the time and space to say everything I needed to. That night was one of the most beautiful of my life. Hold up. What just
Okay,
happened? I
I'm-
need to go back to...
I was like not really with that comment with thinking that he's in love with him, but now I think it's
Now I
might
think
be
he's in
true.
love with him.
Yeah.
Acceptance, love, and trust are truly so powerful, life-changing. What is going on?
Acceptance of gayness. Uh-oh.
Oh, Amy and I had a conversation about the spare room last night. I had been putting it off since my post a few days ago and was hoping to wait until the weekend to talk about it all, but she insisted. I did, as a lot of comments suggested, and used the renovation as a lead-in to talk about the other things going on. I told her that her reaction to it brought up a lot of confusing emotions for me that I've spent the last few days working through, and things continued from there. I had toyed with the idea of couples therapy, and it was something she suggested, but I don't think it's a viable option. I love her, but I've come to realize that I was never in love with her like I once thought.
Whoa.
Dude, he's gay for Ben.
Yeah.
I feel like I
gosh.
didn't even read the first post.
Right? I feel like there was like
It would
this
just
is like a
yeah.
trilogy and we just didn't see the second book.
Literally, I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
okay. I was like, oh yeah, that's kind of rude that you decided that Ben can have a studio. Oh, you're in love.
Yeah.
And after
Dang.
getting to really and truly experience that, it wouldn't be fair to either of us if we tried to force something that I'm not capable of giving to her. I'll be splitting my time, staying in one of our guest rooms with Ben in his apartment for the time being while we separate and work things out moving forward. Obviously, that means the room renovations have been paused until further notice. I'm really, really excited for the future. By the way, you should get excited about listening to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. That
Wow.
was so quick.
That was very fast.
That was so fast.
These storytellers, they really need to
Oh,
work on their
dang.
pacing.
That's crazy. Notable comments. So, you cheated on your wife with an emotional affair, blamed her for your decisions with the whole your reaction made me confused bit, and now you're leaving her to go with your affair partner? Doesn't matter if it wasn't physical. This is an obvious emotional affair. Ben and I sat down and talked on Tuesday night about everything. It was overwhelming.
to say the least. He was gentle and sweet as always and allowed me the time and space to say everything I needed. Yada yada. Emotional affair.
Wow.
I'm really, really excited for the future. Oh yeah, so exciting to completely destroy the life of the person that loved and supported you while you skip off to have your fun. So exciting. Poor Amy. She deserves so much better. You do plan on letting her have most of the assets in the divorce since you were the one unfaithful and wrecked the marriage, right? And poor Amy thought she only had to worry about a spare room being used without her permission. My heart broke a little for her. I bet she's thinking that if she hadn't gotten upset about the room, maybe her husband would still love her and be with her. I hope Amy reads these posts to see how much the rest of us wish her the best out of a horrible situation. Dude, I'm all for living as your authentic self, but this euphoria you obviously feel after breaking out of your ill-conceived art room closet doesn't absolve you from being an a-hole. Celebrating the evolution of your emotional affair into a full-blown one while your marriage is collapsing around you is incredibly poor taste and shows an astounding lack of empathy and compassion for your soon-to-be ex-wife. The reality is that you did try to move Ben into your marital home when you decided to repurpose a spare bedroom into a music room art studio love nest, so it's not much of a stretch to believe you would do it now for real. I get that you misspoke, were unclear, retracted the statement, but you can't honestly be surprised that people think the worst of you when you put it on display yourself. Amy's been, at best, an afterthought through this entire ordeal, and that just is sad. I feel so sorry for her and hope that you grow a conscience in time to make up for your lack of emotional generosity by giving her everything she wants in the divorce. There are more comments, but we're going to pause.
Oh my gosh.
Dang, I mean, I get what they're saying.
Yeah.
Like, on the one hand, yes, you can't stay with Amy because you don't love her and you're in love with someone else. So yeah, don't stay with her. But I do think there is this kind of like, sorry, Amy, I got to go with Ben now. Bye.
Yeah, I get
Like
that.
flippancy.
Maybe it's like the pacing of this story or something like that, but
Yeah.
I was shocked at those comments though.
Me too. I was like, whoa.
Like,
okay.
oh man, we got some big emotions over here. But yeah, I do agree
Yeah.
a little bit at least. I mean, it seemed from how he was telling it, it seemed innocent and it seemed like I didn't really realize I loved him, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. Even though he definitely should have seen that he shouldn't move in his best friend.
Yeah.
Like that was just weird. But like,
It is super like, I'm thinking of this from just like a dating standpoint, but like if you're dating someone and then they're like, hey, I got to break up with you to go be with someone else.
yeah, that's pretty effed up.
Heartbreaking. And,
Oh,
and
yeah.
this is wife. This is
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking. And
Yeah.
it does feel like there's not been a lot of like focus on Amy's emotions. It's just like, this is what I want to do. So bye.
Right. Right.
I'm living my best life.
Yeah.
Peace out.
Yeah.
Another commenter says the fact that you sat Ben down to talk about things you and him already knew, since you've been having an emotional affair days before you talk to your wife, speaks volumes about your character. I
Yeah.
partially agree that he should have talked to Amy first, or that he should have talked to Amy first.
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone's kind of harping on like, you already knew you were having an emotional affair. I don't
Right.
think OP knew.
Exactly.
You were even forced by your wife to have that talk with her. She deserved the first conversation. She was your wife. Your affair partner should have been put on the back burner for 5 minutes while you figured this out with her. I do agree with that.
Yeah.
Had your life-altering night with your boyfriend while your wife is still wondering about your spare room. Days later, the poor girl thought she was going to have a conversation about it, and instead you blew up her life and gave her absolutely no remorse about how you went about things, aka cheating on your wife. Good on you for figuring yourself out, but you are like at bottom of the barrel of humans at this point.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like we're reading different stories.
Yeah.
He was gonna wait until this weekend to talk to her about it, not claim I was the reason he changed his mind, but I badgered him pretty consistently about it in his now deleted post because he was apparently set on trickle-truthing her instead of ripping the Band-Aid off. I think it might have been better received because I clarified that I'm a sapphic and wasn't coming at the situation from a closet guard standpoint. But Jesus Christ, this man, I am too invested. What was the gist of his post? Basically, that he would give her time to come to terms with their separation by letting her believe he's bi and
Oh.
then telling her he's after because it would let her down easier or something.
Well,
Dude,
no.
that's a huge a-hole move.
Yeah, that's not how
That's
it
a
works.
huge a-hole move. Be honest.
Dang.
You're already leaving her. Don't just say, like, honestly, it would probably feel better for her to know, like, oh, you just
can't love me like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, like if someone, I don't know, if he was like, oh, I'm bi, I'm gonna go be with Ben,
Right.
don't love you.
Yeah,
Devastating.
exactly. That would be like, oh, okay, so like you could. But yeah, like you said, it's
And but also the fact that he was going to lie about that and then come clean is even worse.
like, why just come clean?
I relatively politely tore him a new one over that. And that is the end of that story. And I do want to say I feel for Amy because she's definitely like getting the short stick of this whole situation. And that is a really awful place to be.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
good luck, Amy.
Exactly.
Sorry your husband's an a-hole.
Sorry.
I keep rejecting my husband's attempts at intimacy, and I fear it's wearing him down.
Well, yeah, girl, what's wrong?
Sorry for the excessive background, but I feel like it adds context. I, 30 female, have been with my husband, 32 male, for 4 years. We have a toddler, 2 female together, and have lived together just as long. By the way, this comes from user Anonymous Asker 8372. If you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Dakota.
And I'm Savannah.
And we're here to give you a little bit of good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. So if you would do something different, let us know in the comments. As OP says, overall, our relationship is in the middle. We're both stressed because we had no idea we were expecting until the day I went into labor. Yes, I had periods every month. No, I wasn't emotional over pickles or puking my guts out. Following birth, I had postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. We've been extremely tight on money, have family drama on both sides, and our own personal issues. I work the most and therefore pay around 70% of all bills because my husband's job only has so many hours available. So I'll work my tail off to make as many tips and work as many hours as possible just to ensure we have enough for rent. At the end of the month, after utilities, groceries, and other necessary expenses, we have maybe $100 to $200 left for fun or emergencies. And no, we don't use DoorDash or anything like that. Literally every penny is rationed because we're teetering towards the edge. On top of my work shifts, my commute is almost 2 hours one way because I take the bus and train. He picks me up from work 2 or so days, depending on what's going on and how he's feeling, which shortens the way home to about 20 minutes. So when I get home, I'm exhausted. I'm sorry, how is your partner not... he's picking you up 2 days out of the week, and then the other 3 days or 4 days, you have a 2-hour commute both ways? How does that even make sense? That's crazy.
Well, she probably takes like public transportation.
I
like
know,
the
but
bus.
it's like, why are we not doing this every day? Why are we not cutting down the 2 hours to 20 minutes every day? In some cases I get it, but like, just like, what? That should be the automatic. It should be like, oh no, something happened. I can't get you from work today. Right? I don't know. So when I get home, I'm exhausted. My back hurts, my feet hurt. I suffer from chronic migraines and GERD. I just recovered from a kidney infection in which an ambulance took me from work, and I'm on the brink of falling asleep just getting home. My husband takes care of our daughter when he gets home from work, which is around 7 hours before I get home. He's at the age where she's a handful on better days and a hurricane on the worst ones. I always make a point to take over childcare when I get home, help with dishes while he cooks, and we flip a coin on taking the dogs out. I also make a point to tell him to go out on our overlapping days off because I know he's exhausted too, so he can have some time to himself. But he almost never takes me up on it, saying he'd rather be with us. Aw. Ever since having our daughter, our spicy sleep life has tanked. We have spicy sleep about once a week, sometimes up to 3 times, but I honestly never have the energy anymore. My spicy sleep drive went from 80 to 5. I've explained to him multiple times that it's not that I find him unattractive or anything. I make sure to tell him every day that I think he's cute or handsome, to hold him, cuddle him, kiss him. It's literally a problem with my hormone levels. My doctor even mentioned this was very normal after birth. Add life's many obstacles, and spicy sleep is the last thing I'm thinking about. When I do get in the mood, I let him know straight up. I'll tell him, I want you tonight, and we'll do all the flirty, smexy things to get the point across, just for one of us to fall asleep before we get there, or for our daughter to wake up looking for us. Dang, this sounds like you guys need help.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a lot for 2 people. And
you're financially not stable and there's not a lot that you can do. I don't know if like you could reach out to family and be like, hey, we're in a really crappy situation. You know, is there any way you can help us out? Or even like a GoFundMe or something. Like, I feel like it all kind of narrows down to like the financial thing, because if you had money, you would be able to, you know, afford like childcare or whatever. I don't know what you're doing with the baby when you're, you know, out working and whatnot. But I mean, if you're paying someone to do that and then, you know, also having to pay for like the, you know, the dogs, and then having to now like provide more food for like, because you have a child now. And then also, you know, all the things, it just seems like too much. Like, me personally, I wouldn't be happy in the situation that you're in.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in the situation is happy except maybe the daughter. But that's just because she's 2. So when she's happy, and when she's unhappy, oh, I'm sure it's terrible.
She's goo goo gagging.
Yeah, you need a little support here. The past week, he's been very forward about wanting to have the spicy sleep. And I've been on the same page, but once again, life got in the way. First night, I had an extra stressful shift that made me just want to be held. The next night, I was down, but he was in a bad mood. The third day, we were both into it, but I wasn't feeling well and started throwing up before we could do anything.
What?
No! Terrible. Today, I had another long, stressful shift and straight up told him I wanted us time. My exact words were, I want to spend some quality time together tonight. I miss you. I was expecting that once our daughter was down, we'd cuddle up on the couch, watch a movie, talk, make out, then move into the spicy sleep. I spent over an hour trying to get our daughter to bed, and the moment I came out, he immediately started pulling up my shirt and bedongling me. I laughed and said, hold on, babe, not yet. I was hoping we would, naturally get into it, and he flipped. He said he was frustrated with me for rejecting him all the time and that he's tired too and wants intimacy with me. I told him that I understood and we wanted that too, but that just jumping me before I could relax and get comfortable wasn't the way to get me in the mood. Yeah, come on, buddy. What are we talking about? Then he said I gave him mixed signals, like I always do, and that I'm always finding an excuse not to sleep with him, which isn't true at all. I reiterated that we are both always tired and that we both fall asleep or have no energy by the time we try. He said it's always me who says no. I explained everything about my hormones being off and how my body has been in constant fight or flight mode regarding our family's financial stability, so spicy sleep isn't as on the forefront of my mind as it used to be. He said I was over-exaggerating and gaslighting him, and if I really was still attracted to him, I'd talk to my doctor about my hormonal changes and demand a solution for it. Then he said I was being an a-hole for implying I wanted to get intimate just to reject him, but I wasn't trying to do that at all. I just wanted to get worked into the mood, not thrown into it immediately after fighting our kid to sleep. He stormed out and has been sitting in his car for the last hour now. He says he's sleeping there for the night because he's so mad. Now I'm wondering if I'm in the wrong here. No, I don't think so. But we have comments. Malice A. Forethought says, info, he picks me up from work 2 or so days depending on what's going on and how he's feeling, which shortens the way home to about 20 minutes. Am I reading this right? He could shorten your commute home from 2 hours, yes, I'm yelling, to only 20 minutes, but it depends on how he's feeling? I was wondering about this as well. OP says, yeah, it mostly comes down to things like gas money versus what's in the tank, or if our daughter is in the I'm going to screech at the top of my lungs nonstop if you make me sit in a car seat right now mode. But sometimes he's tired from taking care of her, his own work stuff, and dealing with the family drama going on. Or sometimes his friends surprise him and come over to watch baseball or football with him. I'm the one who volunteers to take the bus and train, mostly because he told me once that he was starting to hate driving because of how much he was doing it for his own work on top of picking me up. So we have a set schedule where he picks me up twice a week and drives me there once. If we have extra money for the month, he'll call me an Uber. I really don't like this.
Yeah, I don't
like that at all. That's kind of, I'm starting to hate driving. Get over it. What do you?
Yeah.
What do you?
You're a family man now. Like,
Yeah.
take care of your family. You know, like I mean, the guy that I'm seeing, he's epileptic, so he can't drive. And like, I have no problem driving. I never make it an issue. I'm
Yeah.
never like, oh, I wish you could drive. Like,
When you're talking
that
about,
would be
you
so
know,
crappy to do.
they're talking about like energy and stuff, and it's actually kind of, I think, very exhausting to take public transportation for 2 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah, you're not driving, but that's exhausting.
But it's just all of the like, go, stop, go, stop,
Go, stop, go, stop.
And it's like, if it could just go
And the
until
seething mass of humanity that's all around you.
yeah.
So a second car is out of the question because I used to have a car, and a wasted driver totaled it after hitting me on the freeway at 118 miles an hour, leaving me hospitalized for a while. An injury caused by the said driver makes it incredibly uncomfortable for me to drive. I feel safer for myself and others by taking public transit. Just before the accident, we sold his car since we never used it. Our apartment charges $250 per car, and it was too small to fit the car seat in, and we needed the money. We had to use all of our savings to buy another car off Facebook Market and cover the rent while I recovered in the hospital, so it's financially impossible for us right now. Because trust me, I'd love to drive myself and my family anywhere we want, but it's not only not financially feasible, but until I've gotten fully better and more confident in driving again, it's also probably safer for others on the road around me. I don't want to have an episode and end up blacking out and waking up to find out I caused an accident. For reference, my work is 28.6 miles away from home across a bridge. I live in a small town where only one bus route goes in and out of it once per hour. That bus would take me to the transit station in the next town over, where I would either transfer to another bus for another hour and 37-minute ride, or hop on a train for an hour ride, stop at another station, wait 13 minutes for the same bus that takes an hour and a half, then walk 17 minutes from the final stop. Oh, that sounds abysmal.
That like actually made me hate my life a little bit.
That sounds actually like the worst thing ever. I was at least assuming you lived in a city. You
Right?
live in like a small town with one bus. That's absurd. That
Crazy.
your husband needs to step up and start giving you a ride.
Yeah,
I don't care
for
if he doesn't
sure.
want to drive. In order to get to work by 9:30 in the morning, I leave my house at 6, walk 10 minutes to the bus stop, take the 14-minute bus out of town into the next, wait for the transfer bus or the train, then get to work and make the 17-minute walk to arrive at 9. If I took any other bus or train, I would be between 30 to 60 minutes late, so I have to take that route. And unlike a car, the bus and train take a particular route that usually stops at every stop. The bus doesn't stop at every single stop. The ride cuts down to about an hour and 15 minutes. There are no other transfer points that align with the time I need to leave and the time I need to arrive. So yeah, with the car, it's about 20 minutes, 25 with traffic. With public transit, it's around 2 hours. And since it's across a bridge and around a lake, just walking isn't an option. Wow. Yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Wow. Top Watercress 8685 says, go to your doctor and demand he fix your hormone levels, not because you're depressed or anxious, but because he isn't getting enough. Man, what a walking joke at this point. Why isn't he looking for a better job to provide for his family and take the stress off of you? If his job only has so many hours, get another job. Then on your days off, he gets to go out, but what about you? Which we've already determined he doesn't go out, he stays with his family. You pay the majority of the bills and you take on the majority of the stress. What is he doing? Opie says, to be fair, he's starting a new job with full guaranteed hours in about 2 weeks, and he takes care of our daughter while I'm away. As for my days off, I tell him to go out, but he never does. He always wants to stay home, and he always tells me to go out. Either way, we usually just invite both of our friends to our place to hang out. And you are not the a-hole, and there is an update. Let's get into it. He immediately sat down on the couch where I was sitting, but didn't speak to me. He just sat there with his arms crossed, but he clearly wanted to say something. So I straight up asked him what his deal was, and he said that he was starting to feel insecure. He said he completely understood where I was coming from regarding my hormonal changes and my stress levels and my workload, and he appreciates the sacrifices I make to keep us above water. He just felt like he wasn't enough, not making enough, not helping enough, not enough. He said he was starting to feel like he wasn't wanted or needed because it seemed to him like I could have easily taken care of our daughter on my own without him, which is insane for him to say. Nothing about this read like that to me. Read like you are both at the very brink of ruin. Unfortunately, which I feel for you. It's a hard place to be at. Then, when he yelled at me, which he admitted was not how he meant to react, he got even more upset, not at me, but at himself for getting that upset over it in the first place. Kudos to the commenter who suggested that could have been a thing. He said he felt crappy and embarrassed for reacting like that and didn't want to be around me because it was making him more upset at himself. So he sat in the car, yelled at himself, and started reminding himself that he wasn't an effing child and that he had to be there for our family any way he could, regardless of his emotions. He said he was just overwhelmed and overstimulated with all the Bluey, Miss Rachel, Super Simple Song, Sticky Finger, Terrible, Two Screeches, and needed me. He also said that part of it was our physical intimacy, not just our spicy intimacy. He felt like we just didn't touch each other enough, even platonically, which reaffirmed to him that I didn't want or need him. I pointed out that I hold, touch, and kiss him all the time, and he probably doesn't notice because he's always glued to either his phone or the TV as soon as I get home. He then tried to say he wasn't on his phone that much, just that he wanted to watch a video or two to decompress now that I'm home so he could refresh from the kids' stuff. But he finally admitted it when I showed him multiple videos and pictures I've taken while doing things with our daughter, playing at the park, watching something on the couch, eating at a restaurant, selfies of me and her, etc., along with Instagram posts from friends and family that have him in the background with his nose buried in his phone and earbuds in his ears. Well, I'm glad we got him to notice that.
There you go.
That might be a problem with your intimacy.
Yeah. I mean, him just being distracted and then also going to blame it on you.
Yeah. Being completely absent and then trying to be like, no, I don't do that much. Just a video or two. You literally have other people's Instagram posts to pull up.
There's so much evidence.
Yeah. Then that became a conversation about his concerns regarding how stressful my job is, specifically my bosses and the owners, and how it makes me come home upset and standoffish without realizing it. I totally admitted to that, and I won't deny that dealing with wasted customers and wasted owners all day makes me drier than a desert. Not to mention the 2-hour commute. So, we came up with a plan to decrease phone and screen time for both of us, set up a babysitting schedule with friends and family so we can have time alone, and I would look into finding a different, closer job with bosses who aren't giving away free booze and then making the staff pay for it. And by the way, I want you to report to the full episodes of stories like this on your favorite podcast platform, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever it is. Just search OK Storytime. You can listen to an unbelievable number of episodes with stories just like this. We have a little bit more of this story left. I'm liking where we're headed, I guess, you know?
I feel like there's a game plan set. I want to see if that works out.
We're headed toward Compromise City.
Yeah.
OP says, he also said he'd pick me up more nights so it'll cut my commute and use that time to take our daughter to the park across the street. Yeah. He starts his new job next week as well, which should even us out enough for me to go back to working normal hours again so we can spend more time together as a family. We also plan on doing more things outside of the house together so neither of us are on our phones, giving our baby and each other our full attention. And we're using our pent-up energy more productively. He's also promised that next time he's this pent up, he'll talk to me about it calmly. So yeah, that's that. Thanks again to almost everyone who commented. You are appreciated. And that is the end of that story.
My husband's cousin's wife flirted with him before our wedding. Now she wants to meet for coffee?
Aww.
Long story short, my husband Steven's cousin Dave and his wife Daisy were married in 2019. We have been very close to Dave and Daisy throughout the years. We were even part of their wedding party. We always went on vacations together, to bars, to parties, concerts. We went on double dates to restaurants, the beach, had dinner parties, and overall spent a lot of time together. By the way, this comes from gmercado005, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, Stephen and I, 31 female, got engaged in 2021, and we decided to get married in November 2022. A month before our wedding, I met with Daisy for brunch while Stephen went for his final suit fitting with Dave. Dave was his best man. To say the least, brunch with Daisy consisted of bottomless mimosas. Ooh. She didn't make it to my bachelorette party in Europe, and she told me the timing of my bachelorette conflicted with her work schedule, and she was not quite sure where she fit into my life. I told her I considered her one of my closest friends, but not to worry, no hard feelings. She told me she considered me one of her closest friends too, but stated that she felt Stephen didn't like her that much. I told her that was ridiculous and that Stephen absolutely did love her. She then said Dave has told her she makes more sense with Stephen. Her partner told her that she makes more sense with another guy? That doesn't make any sense. While Dave makes more sense with me. I'm sorry. No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen.
So basically, he's like, hey, we're better just swap.
Wife swap.
Let's
He's
just
like,
wife
wife
swap,
swap.
and it's going to be so much better, right, guys?
I don't believe that happened. I think Daisy's lying.
Ooh.
Steven is very attractive, and so is Daisy. And I responded with, I can see that you. I can see that. You both are very hot. And let it
Ooh-wee.
go. What? OP! Dave and I guess are pretty average looking, sensitive beings. I thought it was funny. The men picked us up after brunch and we went to a bar. We were talking about investments and the future. And when I asked Steven if he loved Daisy, he said, sure.
And again, wait.
Yeah.
Steven is OP's.
Steven is OP's
Man.
partner,
Yeah.
fiance.
Yep.
And Daisy's with David.
Yes.
Daisy left the bathroom. We then migrated to another bar to meet with Daisy's brother as he was going to play the guitar as I walked down the aisle on our wedding day. By the time we got to the next bar, Daisy and I were pretty wasted. I noticed that Dave seemed upset and that Steven was talking to him. I asked Daisy what was going on, and she said Dave saw she had texted Steven and he got upset. She swore she did not say anything inappropriate in the messages, but Dave now thinks they're having an affair.
Oh.
Yeah, well, you told you. I don't know.
Because Daisy was like, Daisy said that Steven said, oh, we'd be better swapped.
Daisy said that Dave,
Daisy said her partner,
her
Dave.
partner, she said Daisy
Right.
said that her partner Dave said that OP would be better better
be better
dating Dave,
swapped,
and
yeah.
Daisy would better be dating Steven. But I don't believe that ever happened.
Crazy.
She swore she was talking to Steven about my bridal shower. I told her it's ridiculous that Dave feels that way. He should have nothing to worry about. And I assured her I would never think there was anything between her and Steven. When we
Never?
left the bar, Dave still seemed upset, but he wanted to go elsewhere. However, Steven said we had to go. On the way to our car, I asked Steven why Dave would think he and Daisy were having an affair. He said, I don't know, she was texting me gibberish all night. So I asked to see the messages, and he said he deleted them.
Yeah, I don't like to have like gibberish, like, I got iCloud. Okay?
Cluttering up my phone.
I want to keep it, clean, simple messages. I just like keep it organized.
He kept sending me all these weird symbols. They were like the greater than symbol or the less than symbol and a 3. I don't know what that means.
What's less than 3? 2?
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. So I deleted them. This happened when Apple had released a new update where recently deleted messages could be recovered on iMessage.
Haha.
I received a spam text while in the car and proceeded to delete it. iMessage notified me of the new function with the update. Thank you for explaining, Kobe. So I told Steven with the new update, you can recover recently deleted messages. He recovered the messages, and it turns out that when she went to the bathroom at the second bar we were at, right after I asked Steven if he loved her, she texted Steven saying they needed to talk. Steven asked why and said sure after the wedding, but that he did love her with a smiling emoji at the end. She's taken that totally the wrong way, bud. Why are we using the word love?
Yeah.
Why don't we just use like, hey, yeah, I think
He's
you're cool.
British.
I love you.
But they say like, oh, good love, right? Like they don't say I love you.
Yeah, they don't usually go, I love you.
No, he's British.
He's British.
British.
She said it could not wait until after the wedding. Daisy then asked if they were in a soap opera. He asked her what she was talking about, and she asked him not to make her say it. He proceeded to say he was confused, and she finally said that she wanted him.
Oh.
This was the gibberish? This was the gibberish?
Yeah, why wouldn't you be like, look what she texted me?
He asked since when, and she said since always. He told her they will talk and to delete these messages.
Ooh. Dang.
She asked when, and he said tomorrow. She said she was anxious and nervous, but would wait until the next day. She sent some gibberish texts after that. He asked her again to delete the messages and mentioned they would talk. She then said, I'm so over you. And he responded with, that was fast. I looked up at Steven after reading the messages and said, this is not gibberish. She said she wanted you. He said, I know.
Dude, this guy. I feel like his whole vibe is just like, that was some gibberish. I just deleted it.
Yeah, I
You're
don't
like,
know.
Yeah,
She said,
I
love
know
you.
she wants me. Eh.
I got furious. I was yelling in front of my apartment building because I felt betrayed and stupid. Steven's responses to her can be interpreted many ways, but he claimed he was trying to do damage control because we were all so close and were friends. He swore he did not mean his responses in any harmful way, but I told him deleting the messages made him look suspicious and asked why he didn't tell me right away. He said I was wasted and he wasn't sure how I would react. And Dave's obsessed with Daisy, and he didn't know how he would react in the moment either, as we were all drinking, which is why he told her they would talk the next day, because he was so unsure of everyone's reactions and needed to play it safe. The next day, we got a text from Dave asking to meet for coffee to talk. He said Daisy mentioned to him she might have sent some inappropriate messages to Steven, but she couldn't remember what, and it appears her messages were deleted. Steven refused to meet.
Wait, because also he was saying like, oh, I didn't want it to be messy and everything we were drinking. But David already confronted Steven that night because Opie was saying like, oh, they were like talking. It was like heated. It was already the mess. So
It was
say
already
it.
messy.
Just say it. You're suspicious.
Yeah. And then David said like, oh, well, Daisy told OP that David thought that she was cheating with Steven.
Yes.
So all of this was already out.
It was already there.
A few days later, Steven spoke to Daisy via text and sent her screenshots of the messages. She apologized profusely and took accountability for her actions. She showed the messages to Dave, and Dave sent a message to Steven about how he and Daisy spoke and they were addressing the problem. How Daisy had panic attacks over the situation and they were wanting to mediate and talk. He said that he knew the person that night was not the real Daisy, and that's why he can be protective of her when she drinks. We did not meet with them. Our wedding was only a few weeks away, and we wanted to focus on each other.
Oof.
Dave was insisting on backing out of attending the wedding due to the situation, but he was the best man. Daisy texted me apologizing for her betrayal and said she felt she should opt out of the wedding. I told her if she did, Steve's best man would not show up on one of the most important days of his life, but that it was their choice if they showed up for Steven or not. She asked me if our friendship had the possibility of being saved, and I said I needed time. By the way, I need you guys to take time to listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search a Poke Storytime. But there is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any final thoughts?
Let's dive right in.
Okay. They went to the wedding. I was super wasted bride, and at the end of the night, I grabbed her in a tight hug and whispered in her ear, I forgive you.
But I will F you up.
Dude, what is this friend group?
This is wild.
What
These
is this
people are
crazy friend group?
I'm just, I forgive you, but I'll F you up. We saw them once more for Friendsgiving, and it was awkward. I couldn't control my iciness, and I'm not sure if I ever really do forgive her. Daisy asked me to meet with her on this coming Sunday for coffee. It's been 5 months now. I agreed, but I don't know how to feel or how I'm going to feel when I see her again. Any thoughts? Comment 1 says Daisy needs to stop drinking if she gets like this. Reply, it was the real Daisy. He just hadn't seen that before.
Yeah.
Comment 2, I wouldn't be friends with her. She already showed you who she was. Wasted or not, she's a snake. And I would be wary of your husband as well. Deleting messages and telling her they'll talk tomorrow, not automatically shutting her down, is a big no-no for me. Why are you inviting this person into your home? Comment 3, how can a grown adult get so wasted, text their husband's cousin, tell said cousin she has always wanted him, and then use the line, I didn't know what was happening. You stumble words and say off-the-wall crap. Going to the bathroom to secretly text another man was not a wasted mistake. Well, it was, but the only mistake was bringing it up. Those are her true feelings. Comment 4, Steven looks like the only one to have his ducks in a row. Are we talking about the same Steven?
I don't know about that.
He single-handedly managed 3 dramas at once with wasted people. I disagree with that comment.
Same.
Steven's not good at handling anything.
Literally not at all. The exact opposite, actually.
Yeah, he's kind of created a lot of these problems. But folks, that's the end of that story. My wife cheated with me. Now I fear she's cheating on me.
Dang, it sucks when the shoe's on the other foot, doesn't it?
I, 38 male, have known my wife, 34 female, for 16 years. We dated for 1 month when we first met. We stopped dating when she met a guy who would be her serious boyfriend for the next 5 years.
Pause for context. They were in high school.
Yes.
That was 16 years old when that happened.
By the way, this comes from Not Show, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we remained good friends for those 5 years. I would very often hang out with her and her boyfriend. Toward the end of the 5 years, her boyfriend was living about 2 hours away, and they saw each other less and less frequently. It was known by all of her friends that she felt like he wasn't committing to her the way she felt he should after the amount of time, and she was rather unhappy. Around that time, she needed a roommate and I needed a place, so I moved in with her and another girl.
May I just quickly say, moving 2 hours away at 21 and staying in a relationship with somebody
Crazy.
is a very committed thing to do.
Crazy.
So that makes no sense immediately from my
That's
perspective.
like commitment, man.
Yeah.
We started hooking up while she was still with her boyfriend. Yikes. That's not cool. It was more than just fooling around, and we both had strong feelings for each other. Dude, he's 2 hours away. Break up with him.
Dude, how do you know those are her feelings for you, though, and not her feelings for the guy she's cheating on?
Yikes.
Being expressed through her into you as like a vehicle. What?
Before we started hooking up, I had planned to move out of town, same country, really far away. I asked her if she would come with me. She said no. She was going to stay with her boyfriend. I left heartbroken. A few months later, she came to visit me with some friends and asked if the offer still stood. I told her it did, and she packed up everything and left her hometown to live with me in a strange city. Did she break up with her boyfriend? Is she still with her boyfriend? Things were great. We were youngish, kind of poor, but we worked hard, saved money, and made a life for ourselves. After 5 years of living together, I finally asked her to marry me. Presumably, she broke up with her boyfriend.
I would hope at this point boyfriend knows
Yeah.
that he's on the outs.
She said yes, and all was well. We bought a condo together and planned our wedding. Around this time, her work transferred her to a different office, which was a longer commute, 1 hour versus 25 minutes. It sucked, but she liked her job, so she stuck with it. She had a male coworker who she was really good friends with. He was married with 3 kids. We hung out with him and his wife a few times, and it was pretty obvious that he was attracted to my wife. My threat radar went off one time when he, his wife, my wife, and I were playing cards, and he muttered, "God, you're beautiful," kind of under his breath, but loud enough for me and maybe his wife to hear. He wasn't talking about his wife.
So what is that?
What?
That's
You.
I don't even know. That sounds fake.
Yeah.
That's
God,
because
you're beautiful.
whose wife is not immediately going,
Yeah.
what the hell did you
If
just
she
say?
heard that, was that to me?
We're gonna leave. I have to talk to you in the
We're not playing
car right
cards
now.
anymore. I told my wife about that incident and that it bothered me, but she shrugged it off, and I didn't really think too much about it. So the office move had brought them closer to the guy's house. She mentioned one time about how she had gone over there during lunch to play bags and drink adult soda. What's bags?
Probably cornhole.
It was kind of an offhand comment, and it was the only time she talked about them hanging out at lunch. I didn't like it at all, but I didn't say anything. So we got married, and literally 2 days after the wedding, we found out that she was pregnant. We planned to have kids, but not right away. Nonetheless, we were happy.
Oh wait, pause really quick. They were playing cards, right? Kat has in the comments. Kat's theory is that he was talking about his cards, which actually does make sense.
He's like,
If you're playing cards, you just get a good hand, you were trying to be cheeky,
God.
or you get a bad hand, you're trying to bluff.
well, yeah, I'm wondering
God,
why
you're
he
beautiful.
thought it was directed at, because he says, oh, he wasn't talking to his wife.
Well, it could be the threat radar, because it's like, yeah, you lose him how you got him. You
Yeah.
already know she's down to cheat.
When we were talking to people about us having a baby, I would sometimes make jokes about not being sure if it was mine.
What?
Why did you make that joke? My intentions were totally benign, at least consciously. After I made this joke a few times, she finally told me that she really didn't like it when I said that.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Wow.
I could tell she was serious, so I apologized and never did it again. It struck me as a little strange, though, because we mess with each other all the time, and it's never a problem. What are you talking about, dude?
But you're bringing
Obviously,
up the
she's
baby.
not gonna freaking like that you're saying that you're joking about whether or not you're the father.
Yeah, like
Yeah, she's not gonna like that dummy.
it's not. You can't involve the baby in the joke and then be like, ah, come on.
One day we were sharing a romantic moment. I was looking at her in the eyes and said something to the effect of, "I can't wait to see our baby." I was looking her in the eyes and waiting for a reaction, but she just kind of paused. She didn't laugh or do anything right away. It was really awkward and it freaked me out. So I'm imagining OP's like, "I can't wait to see our baby." And she's like, I was really upset about it for a day or so, but I didn't say anything. The thought that the child may not be mine was in the back of my mind from then on. I'm sorry, your thought? What? That's why you thought that? That doesn't make any sense.
How did we get here? How have we jumped all the way to here?
I feel like OP is just so insecure and so like paranoid because he cheated with her.
And yeah, maybe this is the penance you pay.
So our daughter was born. She's a lovely child. I can't express how much I love her. She really does look like me and my wife. So my fears about her not being mine were mostly removed. My wife is a fantastic mother to her too. She is now pregnant with our second child. So quite recently we had dinner with the work guy and his wife. Work guy was drinking quite heavily. He has a very loud and outgoing personality, quite likable. He likes to make lewd jokes and sometimes takes it too far for social comfort. That night, he made a comment about a waitress's front airbags while sitting right next to his wife.
Oh, so he's that kind of guy.
So he's gross. She heard him and looked at him, and he kind of made a face like, well,
What, are you gonna deny it?
you don't see those honkers?
You see though, I wanna make a, sorry. I'll leave that, I'll let that one sleep.
We got to talking about a coworker of his who had done some pretty messed up things at work which involved him. It was an ethical thing that would likely have gotten that person fired if he had told on her, but he didn't tell. I joked to him, that person must have dirt on you. His reply was, yeah, that I was banging your wife at work. Huh? He said that in front of his wife and your wife?
This can't even be real. There's no way. Who is this guy? I mean, how, unless he's just like blacked out at this point, because they did say he was drinking a lot, and that is totally something that just would just floop right out of you if you had been drinking too much.
And makes a joking face like, ooh, shouldn't have said that, while looking at my wife. I looked at my wife and her head was turned. Either she didn't hear or she was pretending not to have heard. I feel like he wouldn't have said it. There's two possibilities. One, he said it because he is doing it. Two, he waited until she was not listening and looking to say it to get a rise out of OP.
Yeah, I just think he did it. He did that. He did that and just did it. And like, I don't know, sometimes, you know, there's like the psychological principle of like the criminal returning to the scene of the crime and being in close proximity to the investigation, because it's almost like they want the credit. They want to get caught. They want everyone to know. They want to let go of the weight.
Yeah.
So that might have just been he got drunk enough to be like, yeah, you know what? I'm banging your wife at work. Oops. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
That freaked me the F out. I was trying to keep my cool, but I was visibly irritated. My wife asked me what was wrong, but I didn't tell her. I didn't sleep that night. All I could do was think what would happen if it were true. I wanted to ask my wife, but I was afraid of offending her and sounding mistrustful if it were true. Or worse, having her tell me it was true. That was almost 2 weeks ago now, and I still haven't asked. I think I have to do it because my suspicions just haven't gone away. Every now and then, the feeling I had that night comes back, and I can't shake it. My wife has noticed for sure. I thought about all the things that could point to her having an affair with this guy. There really isn't too much else. But one thing that I did find strange is that she deleted her old email account after we got married and changed her name. You got married, though. She changed her name because her name changed. No?
Maybe she changed it to like a completely different name.
Yeah. Blades. Fireblade.
Yes, my name is Moonflower Fireblaze _99.
Like, not disabled or stopped using it, but deleted it. I asked her why and told her that didn't make sense because she would miss emails sent to the old address. She gave some answer like she wanted emails to that address to bounce so people would not use it anymore. That kind of makes sense, I guess. She also deletes emails in her new Gmail account after she's done with them. Well, yeah, People do that.
That's how you end up with not 37,000 emails.
I asked her why she did that when she could just mark them as read or archive them when she's done. She said she doesn't want them around cluttering up her inbox. And that's reasonable.
Buddy,
That's reasonable. People do that.
you just have to approach your wife and be like, hey, so
Yeah.
you remember how we got together, right? I'm nervous.
I mean, she cheated on the last guy with me. Why wouldn't she cheat on me? What do you guys think? Did she do it? Should I ask her? And there is an update, folks. Dude, talk to your wife. Stop coming up. Like, you've been thinking about this for freaking the whole time you guys have been together. You have always thought that she's going to cheat on you. So, like, talk to her. I don't know. If you can't trust her, then why are you in a relationship with her?
I think
even think she is cheating. I think he's just so paranoid.
he's also written this from perspective where it sounds like he knows if he brings it up, that in and of itself is going to end the relationship.
Potentially.
If you're already put in that box and like your relationship isn't even a safe space for you to like talk about how you're really feeling, depending on what the feeling is, then it's over.
Okay, I finally talked to my wife. I was really nervous and trying to set up a good opportunity. When it got as good as I thought it was going to get, I just said, so did anything ever happen between you and the guy? Not the smooth delivery I had hoped to make.
No, not smooth at all.
She said, you mean like romantically? No, never. She seemed very sincere and I believed her right away.
No, dude, she hit you with the loophole immediately. What are you talking about?
What?
You mean romantically? She's going to be like, yeah, but there was nothing romantic about when we were just like banging. That's what she's going to say.
I don't know. I feel like that great of a reply is like, no, what?
Or she's just lying.
I don't think she's lying. I went on to tell her all the reasons I was worried, and she was very understanding. She was upset that I didn't trust her. She did start crying when I told her about my fears that our daughter might not have been mine. She was upset that I would even think that, which is what I anticipated and one of the main reasons I waited so long to tell her. I put her in my shoes and asked how she would feel if a female coworker of mine acted in a similar way. It seemed like she hadn't considered that, and she admitted to being jealous and insecure in the past, which made me feel better. But you know what will always make you feel better? Listening to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. I don't think she's cheating. I think he's incredibly paranoid.
Really?
Yeah.
Given everything we learned, like that was said about those interactions at the restaurant?
All we know is that he said, yo, when I was banging your wife, and that OP said that she didn't hear, or like seemed like she didn't hear.
Belligerently drinky. Not belligerently, but he's like drinky.
Yeah,
he's overly drinky.
Dude, this sounds like when guys go, when I was banging your mom. That's what that sounds like.
So here's an interesting psychological principle that I've learned from about interrogations from the police, right? When you're innocent and accused of a crime, really your reaction is going to be, wait, what are we talking about? You think I did what? What? What are you talking? No, hey, that needs to stop. We're not talking about me doing a crime because I didn't do one.
But that's what she did.
But people who are guilty will perceive that they'll do a flip thing in their mind where they're like, oh, well, if I freak out about it, I'll look guilty. So I need to just be chill about it and almost ignore it. And that is what guilty people do.
I don't think she did that at all.
She did. She turned away. She just turned away and pretended like she didn't hear it. That's what she did.
No. He said, I don't know if she heard it or not.
No, I
don't think she heard it.
She heard it.
I personally don't think she heard it.
Okay, think of all the times you've been sitting around a restaurant and you've heard someone's conversation a table away from you.
But sometimes
this is the same table.
But sometimes the person right next to me is talking. I'm like zoned out.
That
happens all the time.
Ooh, I'm
zoned out all the time.
What's up here? What's over there?
Dakota, you
what's
were
over
sitting
here?
right next to me at a restaurant in Colombia. I was full gone. You asked me a question. I had no idea what you said to me.
Yeah, but there's also a dozen people at that table.
Yeah.
This is a table with 4 people.
Not necessarily. She said she was turned away. Who is she talking to? It's probably more
She's
people
not
there.
talking to anybody.
I think there were more people.
She's going
there.
la 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 la.
I think that
she's whistling show
Wrestling
tunes
Mama
to
says
herself.
that's what friends do, Sophia. This guy isn't his friend. It's his wife's coworker. He shouldn't be that comfortable joke like that. I agree. I think he's a creep. To be clear, I think he's a freaking creep. But I think that she is not cheating with him. I still think he's a weirdo and a creep, but I don't think that he's cheating with her. I think he wants OP to think that he's cheating with her because he's attracted to OP's wife.
The cherry on top for all of this, that very well could be true, but the cherry on top for all of this is that the wife was acting like she's so confused as to where this idea is coming from. That's the thing that's getting me. Is she's like, I don't understand how you could think this. It's like, girl, yeah,
But
you
if
do.
she wasn't cheating, then
But
yeah,
you
he
cheated
never brought it
to
up.
start this relationship.
That's fair.
So
But she-
it's
well, no,
crazy
she
for her
said
to be
that.
like, well, where is this coming from?
She said, oh my God, I didn't even think about,
No, I thought she was saying that she didn't think about if it was on, if this was a female coworker of OP's, how
but I
she'd be
think
feeling.
when OP was like, yeah, I've been thinking about because of how you guys got together. And she's like, wow, I didn't.
Regardless, crazy that she was like, where? I don't understand.
She made lots of reassurances that if she was ever unhappy enough in our relationship that she would think about seeing someone else, that she would let me know things were bad way before it got to that point.
But you didn't do that the first time.
Which, yeah, I agree. I don't think she's in the right for that. It's hard to describe how you can tell someone is telling the truth, but I could really tell. Unless she's some kind of amazing liar, which I think I would know about after 16 years. She did defend her douchey friend's actions a little, which I was bothered by. She said he always says things like that and doesn't really mean anything by it.
See, look, she's trying to be like, just disregard him. It's not happening. She's doing the list. What list? We're talking about the list. No one cares about the list.
I still think he's just a dip crap. I told her I didn't want to hang out with him and his wife anymore. We have moved 1,200 miles away from where they are now, so it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I'm the paranoid, insecure jackbutt that I was open. I was. Dakota and I are, we are split. We can't agree. And we don't know, so put in the comments if you think she's cheating. Let us know what you guys think. But that's the end of that story.
Yeah.
And the end of this episode. So if you love us, make sure to subscribe.
We love you
And
and
see you
see you
tomorrow.